morning, Macon, Georgia, Middle Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Friday, October 18th, 2013. Live from the network.
There we go. Almost there. Almost there. Little up. Yeah. Little up. There we go. There we go. What do you think of that? Can we snapshot that? That's perfect. All right.
I got a question for you, Derek. What does a fox say?
I don't know.
That's a buzz killer.
This is my day to drive everybody fucking nuts.
All right.
Like a bowl of planters, man. Yeah.
No, actually, that is Rabbi Schlesinger, who Larry Schlesinger, who ran for District 2.
Mm-hmm. And,
right here.
Yes.
You could see the flyer, and he ran for District 2, and he's now in a recount. They don't even call it a runoff. They are doing a recount.
No, they did the runoff.
He did the runoff, but now they have a recount.
27 vote difference.
Yeah, by 27 votes. Yeah.
And they're working it out for the end of the month. So he can't even be sworn in. I mean, he's not going to be sworn in until January 31st anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's still an issue.
Yeah.
And the Board of Elections is going to look at it. I'm looking for, it's in WMAZ. And then, of course, I want to talk about the animal shelter break-in that we had yesterday.
Oh, yes.
But in any case, I'll give you an update later on this and what it's all about. Now, we're going to move on. More news. We had the animal shelter break-in. If you guys were on yesterday late, you saw that DS, our buddy DS photo guy, who volunteers for All About Animals along with his beautiful, other significant, extremely, and his wife, all right? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
All right? Lacey Templeton. And DS says to us right here on the Morning Roast, it just broke here.
Mm-hmm. Just broke.
DS got the call.
Mm-hmm.
And that they had an animal shelter break-in. Well, we had death. Mm-hmm. We had a whole bunch, and let me give you the story. Volunteers at All About Animals Adoption Center on Riverside Drive near Central City Park say the shelter was broken into sometime before 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. So they say pens were found unlocked and mostly bully breeds. Now they call them bully breeds. Like pit bulls and bulldogs were let out and fighting, leading 3 dogs to be killed and 8 others injured and sent to the vet. Volunteer Lacey Templeton, who is DS's wife or significant other, Lacey Templeton said she estimates whoever broke in caused around a few $1,000s worth of damage. She says around 25 of their 65 dogs were let out of their pens. She says in the past, people have left unwanted pets tied to the gate, but this time, this is the first time someone has broken in and let dogs loose. The incident has them concerned and about security. No one called the police, but a police officer stopped by and issued a report, took a statement and categorized the incident as criminal trespass. The Macon Police Department says they are investigating the case with no charges have been yet filed. There you have it. That was written by Tom George on Twitter.
Who's a reporter from WMAZ Channel 13.
Yeah, WMAZ. I met him. He's the guy I met when I was with Anthony.
Yeah.
We talked about. All right, so anyway, Horrible news
Yeah.
about the animals. Now look, this is what I am. The first thing that's glaring to me, being a politician, and what do I see about the community as a whole in itself? It is pretty disheartening sometimes. I mean, you got this one shelter that's being supported. The animal welfare shelter is being supported by the city. The commissioners are the ones in charge of that. And yet they have outbreaks of parvo and all that. Then they have this now, by the way, which is privately funded, has nothing to do with the city. And these are just a bunch of volunteers trying to do a good job, and yet they're not provided any kind of security. And yet they're not an all-kill shelter. They're a rescue. There's a big difference. The shelters have a budget. They have a time schedule. The dogs come in. They don't get adopted. After a while, boom, kill them, and goodbye.
Right. That's very true. I mean, it's a sad situation.
And this situation, this shelter, by the way, has, like she said, how many dogs? I'll tell you.
Somewhere close to 80 or something?
Yeah, 65 dogs.
Oh, 65. Okay.
Yeah. 65 dogs. And a lot of them are bully breed or pit bull or bulldog breed.
Yeah. A mixture of that.
And a mixture, yeah. And then there's the lab mix. There's, believe it or not, the bigger animals, the pit bulls and the bulldogs, are the sweetest ones in those shelters.
Yeah.
The other ones, the little foxy one and those little terriers that look like little foxes, they're the ones that they're very aggressive towards being bothered. I don't want to be bothered, you know.
Well, yeah, terriers are known to to dig and dig for stuff. I mean, they're bred that way.
Well, it's terrible.
They
3 dogs were killed. Anthony was there, of course, and he wrote on Facebook, the very story about it, and how he was. Of course, he gave us a plug. I love him for that. But he talks about the morning roast and how he found out on our show, you know. And so Anthony has been basically, here we go. He put up all about rescue on my site. Right. And he says, missing, please look out for them. So there's 2 dogs that are missing.
Yes.
Get them to safety.
Matter of fact, there's a dog out there. Get them to safety. If you do want to call, and if you happen to find one of those who are in the Macon, Georgia area, please call 478-918-6436.
Thank you. And anyway, Anthony puts up something on Facebook about his story and how disgusted he is and blah, blah, blah. You guys could read it on his...
That's a picture of the...
on his website. Let me see it. All right.
Those are the dogs that...
Those are the 3 little dogs that died. So horrible. So sad. You know, I know DS isn't on right now because he's probably figuring out a way to get to the shelter to help out, or he's at work. Either way. But he's probably freaking out about it right now. That's why he's not on. He's usually on. So, I don't know. I mean, and this is why the law was just passed recently. You have that story, the one that they passed the law for the dogs to be neutered. Remember
we talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
And they're now charging. This is why I'm all for that law.
Here's a story that goes with the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll it.
All right, here we go. Check it out.
No, send it to you to read.
Oh, you just send you the story.
Oh,
that's great.
My mistake.
Yeah, bring it up and then give us the details of that info, because I think it's important for people to know that you can adopt a dog, but now you're going to have to take a little bit more responsibility. Go ahead, Derek.
Here we go. It says here, we are deeply saddened by the cruel, criminal, and inhumane treatment our beloved dogs endured last night. As most of you already know, sometime between the hours of 8 p.m. Wednesday night and 7 a.m. Thursday morning, a person, or most likely persons, broke into our shelter in downtown Macon and committed an unthinkable and deplorable crime. To the best of our knowledge, these criminals broke through our gates, removed security chains from the kennels, and released 20 to 30 dogs from their pens. We can only assume their intent was to fight the dogs. There were many breeds of dogs involved, but not just bulldog mixes. We are left grieving the death of 3 sweet innocent lives: Butler, Jack, and Flapjack. Additionally, we have 8 dogs in bad shape at 3 different vets. The dogs' names are Lionel, Bell, Mick, Iggy, Asher, Orson, Ansley, and Theo, and at least 6 more with significant injuries that were treated and remain at our shelter: Biscuit, Duchess, Mayhem, Oscar, Porter, and Petey. Belle, our sweet, gentle adult female bulldog mix, who was severely injured in the fighting, also has wounds that were not created by another dog, but rather are consistent with being intentionally cut. When we arrived this morning, 4 dogs were missing. Thankfully, all 4 missing dogs are now safe and accounted for.
Wow.
Maybe DC can make some money offering an alarm system and a camera system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what they need.
Well, the story I wanted to, and I appreciate you reading that. That's very heartfelt. It's coming from the shelter, so that's the shelter speaking to us about what happened. And that's a first-hand account, folks.
First-hand.
And who was that from?
Who was from?
Who was the letter from?
It was given to Ed, and
okay.
He sent it to me.
It's probably an article.
It was on All About Animals.
Yes.
Okay, it was on All About Animals.
You can check them out on their Facebook page, All About Animals.
All right. Now, the other thing, to continue elaborating on this, I think it's important now that the animals died in their honor. We honor dogs in this house, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes this could be known as a dog house. We're going to bring a little bit of awareness, take the time out to talk about that. There is a law, the animal law. Can you look that up? I'm going to read this story, and then we're going to talk about the law that has been passed on neutering the dogs. If we could just get that up so you can just read it. Okay. I'm going to read this story as to why I believe that law is necessary to prevent these kinds of catastrophes. Let's take a look. Ball Ground, Georgia. Authorities in Cherokee County say a man has been arrested on animal cruelty charges, but 19 dogs and a cat were removed from his home. Investigators arrested 55-year-old Rudd Tejan Wednesday on counts of animal cruelty. Susan Garcia of the county animal shelter told TV that the animals housed in the man's Ball Ground home were emaciated, anemic, and covered in fleas. Investigators say a tip about barking and smell emanating from his home led the investigators to the man, and they found dog carcasses, bones, rancid meat, and feces scattered across his property. Garcia says the dogs are expected to make a full recovery and are not yet available for adoption. The Ball Ground is about 50 miles north of downtown Atlanta. So this is going North Macon. North Macon. This is the kind of insanity that people have with animals. And especially now, people get lonely. They have animals just so they feel like they have someone around. Nothing to do with the animal. It has to do with themselves. filling a void, whatever. This is insanity. And that law, do we have that?
Yeah.
All right.
It says
This law is about neutering.
yes, the Macon Committee backs the new spade neuter law.
What's the? Just give us the amount. How much is the amount that they have to pay? They have to get the dog neutered, basically. I know in the animal welfare shelter you have to give a $50 deposit to going toward. You get it back if you get the dog spayed and neutered up, in a certain time.
Yes. Well, basically, they said that that will require all dogs and cats to be spayed or neutered before leaving the animal shelter. I guess that's the new law that requires. It didn't specify the amount, but it does say that if you want to get them spayed, they have to be spayed before you take them.
Right, and that's fine. That's I think I brought that law on because of my exposure. To be honest with you.
Even though Henry Gibson at that time when this story came out, it says that the ordinance is too burdensome and as a punishment for responsible pet owners who do want to spay or neuter their animals. He said he tried to ask the committee to hold off on the ordinance.
Well, what's his plan besides saying it's a hardship on people? What's his plan to deal with the fact that we have dogs that are abandoned left and right? Like I said, there are 2 in my community. I'm going to be talking to Rabbi about that.
Yeah.
Now that this whole debacle has come up, I think while the fire is hot, I'm going to give him a call today.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking. I'm going to be downtown with Diaz, hopefully, at the Greek Fest. So I'm going to go down there and just make a scene. And try to get the rabbi there.
You gonna wear a toga?
What?
Are you gonna wear a toga?
Yeah.
The Greeks don't want no freaks.
Thank you, Ed.
Ding, 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 ding,
All right,
ding,
so
yes.
that law is the law towards the shelter, but what about the law of the people? The ones that, is that it? Is that the law we're talking about?
Yeah.
That Gibson?
Yeah, it was about that new spade and neuter law they just passed. Passed last month, actually.
All right, so I'm for that. I'm for that.
And of course,
Gibson, once again, wants to put his foot in something that he has no solutions for. If you have a solution to deal with this dog problem that we have here in Macon, then bring it on. If not, Macon will become another Detroit with 50,000 dogs running around. I swear to you, there are at least since I live here 1 year, I've seen about 5 different dogs running around, and 2 of them are always still around.
Yeah, because they run in packs. You see, so that's one of the one of their instinctive things to do. I mean, they know it's better. It's better to be in a group than being alone, being an individual.
Wow.
So they head in packs. It's like their canine wolf ancestors. They're more wild, more feral ancestors.
Yeah. Hey, DS is on. Good morning. Good morning. We're talking about we're really, really breaking this whole story down of what happened. We read the story. We also Ed sent us a post that came right from the shelters, the rescue Facebook page. Whoever spoke on that was read here on the show. I know you're feeling this, and so I want you to know we're getting the word out. And I'm still coming downtown. I want to see if I can get Rabbi Schlesinger downtown to that Greek festival and tell him I'm there with you, so we could talk about this problem of security at All About Animals and why there was none or none provided, even with some of the money coming from the shelter itself, the Macon Bibb Animal Welfare Shelter. Why there wasn't any kind of support given to these people. Yeah. Well, you know what? No. I mean, I think Okay, good. We got a security system donated and it's being installed today. Thank you, Jesus. There has to be somebody there, though. There has to be security paid for. Somebody has to be there. At all times. No, without a doubt. Not 24 hours, but that's where security comes in. And you put on the alarms and all the security. But have it on anyway. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm surprised the people actually found out what happened as a result of the dogs were there. So I'm guessing were the dogs who were killed or who were injured fighting? Well, I mean, were they? Yeah. Okay, that's how they died, and some were injured from, I guess, from also cuts that they said who weren't fighting, but they
Who
were
knows
also
what the six motherfuckers did in there?
That's great.
They need cameras.
But were they microchipped? I was just wondering, were they microchipped? You know, because
No, that costs too much money to do this to those dogs.
Okay.
That is a great idea,
Okay.
DS. My idea is to set up a bedroom in the little house where and have people sleep over whenever possible, and or let someone stay there long term. Then he answers you, no microchips.
Okay.
All right, DS, great idea. That beautiful little house, and it could be the director or whoever's going to run that place. Stay there. Whoever's going to be the main person running that shelter needs to be there. Or, like you said, use it as a transient for some of the volunteers to make it easier on them to, there's no real one person. But I would rather have one person who is accountable, because all these people, they all just point fingers to everybody else. So you got to have one manager. Simple solution. They can set up a camera via cable, catch a camera 24/7 online on Vaughn Live or JTV. Perfect. Another good idea. We'll talk to the rabbi about that and see if he'll bring it up. He's one of the commissioners, or commissioner-elect for my area and your area as well. I think that's District 8, but that's Virgil Watkins. We can go to Virgil with that.
Yeah, well, ATT, you got systems out now that, you can access through the internet and be anywhere and monitor with these new camera systems that they got. So you can do it from a smartphone. You can actually be in California and look at your house here in Georgia.
Yeah, that's very
see
very
what's
good.
going on. So
My sister,
it's always being recorded.
My sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, they got their security system controlled by their smartphones as well. It's exactly work the same way.
I think the camera show.
Though. Some of the cities have cameras. I mean, how far from a main intersection was it? Main intersections have cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that smartphone thing. Is neat because
I'm saying for what happened the other night.
Well, DS, maybe that's another issue.
Could have picked up something.
Besides getting the cameras donated. Besides getting the cameras donated, somehow there's got to be a system set up where whomever, volunteers, whatever, gets a text on their smartphone if there's any problems or an alarm goes off or whatever. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. It would be really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, so anyway, a lot to talk about. So I'm going to try to set up for him to meet us, DS, over at the Greek Festival where we hang out tonight. All right, buddy? I'm ready to rock and roll and have some pumpkin beer.
Pumpkin beer.
Yeah, he makes his own beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he brews his own beer. This is what? He has a pumpkin beer. Pumpkin for Halloween, baby.
Great pumpkin beer.
I'm having a pumpkin beer today, so I can't wait to taste that. It's the shit. Well, hopefully he doesn't give you the shit.
Yeah, please. I already went through that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, really. Oh, you're doing the organic pumpkin
My
and everything.
buttholes.
All right. The pumpkin beer sounds good, but it also sounds like I can only have 2 or 3, maybe. Cram Clubber, welcome, by the way. Let's say hello to everybody. You know, we got so much news going on. It's to the dogs around here. Right?
Oh, yes. Want to say hello, good morning to ATT Saibuki Diaz Photo Guy, Good Time Radio Hydroponic, been in Ohio, K-Mac Clubber, K-Mac Glover Lighthouse, Muhammad Hussein, Opiate for Life, Smell My Finger, and Snow Sparks. That's who we're here right now.
There we go. Anthony's not on yet because he's probably sleeping from all that hard work and that he sweated. Did you notice he had the white beater on and the whole 9 yards?
Oh, okay. I didn't see him. I was watching right
Yeah. Anyway, but look, I God bless his heart. That's the way he is. He went right over there, started helping out. And he describes the story of his experience on his Facebook page, and it's great. It's just a great read. It's heartbreaking when he describes the little dog's foot coming out of the towel. You know, the little dead dog, and it's just disgraceful. It's just so sad, you know, to experience that.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm glad. I wanted to go. I was trying to find a way to get down there, but in any event, Anthony handled it, and I'm glad in a way I didn't go. I don't know if I would have handled that. I'd seen enough dead dogs.
Yeah, well, so have I. So have I.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew
I buried the 3 little babies that I adopted from Bo, and they died like that because the mother was too... her nipples were too large for the little puppies, and the puppies weren't nursed.
Weren't feeding, nursing, yeah.
So it was horrible, yeah.
I remember somebody...
and Lacey, as a matter of fact, helped me with that whole thing. She got me the little bottle of milk. She got me they helped me out. Both DS and Lacey came over to the house, tried to help me save the little dogs. They are just so connected with this whole dog thing for me and for others.
He hasn't spaded Harley yet either.
Pardon me?
He never spaded the dog.
I know.
And
he never spaded the dog either. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, those 3 little babies, I buried them right here on the ground. And then, of course, I have my little dog that I took from this shelter. And,
Alexi, yes.
You know, I had to bury her in the back. So I got all these little buried dogs around me.
Yeah, one of my friends had to bury one of his dogs.
This to me hits home.
When I was in high school back in the day, we had a dog. We had a dog named Dixie, and he was, you know, he was one of the most friendliest dogs in the world. And he literally had our backs, really, because he would not let anyone, even any type of bully, any type of dude, try to mess with us. He would be ready to fight before we would. I mean, this is how trustworthy of a dog this guy.
They're the best. They're the best friends. They're man's best friends.
They really are. They really are. I mean, and some scumbucket actually killed him. They went late at night and one time and put some antifreeze in his water dish. And so he had a green dish, and you know, antifreeze come out looks green.
Did he bark a lot?
No, he didn't bark.
No, but believe it or not, we had a dog, Lucy. She was one of my 2 dogs in New York. I had a pug, a little black pug named Penny, and I had Lucy. It was a terrier, like a whippet. I don't know if you know what a whippet is.
It's kind of like a greyhound type dog.
Like kind of greyhoundy, yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that little whippet used to bark like a bitch all freaking night. So my neighbor, that son of a bitch, he will always I think go to hell for this. God is so good, he'll forgive even that son of a bitch. So I guess he gets away with it. But what he did was he poisoned the dog with some kind of an iodine. And my dog, it had to live on pills for years. And so I said, well, wait a minute. This is going to cost us $150 a month just to maintain this dog's he started getting seizures where he just shaked all the time. Sometimes yelped. like that. And it was just going to get worse. So we had to put the dog down.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. That's the kind of shit that happened.
Yeah.
People will poison your dog and not give a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
The police will shoot a dog. If it feels attacked, you know what? Maybe I could smack the dog or kick the dog or beat the dog with or taser the dog. Nah, let me shoot the dog.
Mm.
It's a doggone life.
Yes. Dog eat dog world for real.
Doggy
Most
dog
of us.
world.
By the way, not to just interrupt the thing.
That's a good question, ATT. Why did you allow your dog to bark nonstop? Nonstop is a little bit of an exaggeration. It was that he was always in the yard, putzing around. This big fat slob that drank too much. He's always drunk. He's an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
The question should be, why did I buy a house next to an alcoholic guy? But I didn't know he was an alcoholic when I first met him. He looked straight up. But it turns out that he drank like 10 sailors.
Yeah. But the thing is, I guess when you buy a house, so you don't know, I mean, you really can't dictate to an extent who your neighbors are. I mean, you want a house because security. Anything outside that,
I know,
you really
so we
can't
would
control.
bring the dog in the house. I mean, but and then we're dealing with my ex-wife now. We say, oh, the dogs need to be outside, except Penny. But Lucy and Penny would go off on each other. So my wife wanted them separate for whatever reason. That would happen every day.
Now,
Just about.
Remember,
I live with my ex-wife and my daughter, or my stepdaughter.
I may have to disagree with you on that,
They
Kiefer boy. I may have to disagree with you because there have been plenty of times my parents' dog, Misty, who was German Shepherd and a Doberman mix, she barks. She She didn't bark a lot, but she did bark enough. The neighbors liked her barking because it had a lot less burglaries because of that. Yeah. Because of her barking, a lot of burglars try to avoid our neighborhood because
No, I hear you guys. Kiefer boy and ATT, you guys are right. I mean, I don't think that we were rude neighbors. To be honest with you, the dog was mostly in the house on my account because my ex-wife didn't really want the dogs to begin with. It was my idea to give her a gift. I gave her the pug. And then the other one was a rescue because now that she had the pug, she said, well, maybe if we get it another dog and she'll be happier. And so then we adopted Lucy, a shelter dog. But the little pug was given to me as a baby like this. It's a little black fur ball with two big eyes. It's the cutest little shit. And I put a pink bow on it, so help me God. She didn't ask for a dog. She didn't want a dog. But we wanted a dog. I thought giving her a dog would help her. So I surprised her on her birthday with the pug, Penny.
Yeah.
I gave her a penny.
A penny.
About all she got. Plus my ruined credit. Because she changed her name back to Rodriguez. And whatever debt that we put together, especially me, became my debt.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. A lot of debt. Wasn't a pug dog an MIB Black? Yes. Men in Black movie. The pug was actually an alien. Correct. Except that was a beige pug. I had an all black.
Yeah.
And those are a little bit more rare.
But just like I said, you can't control anything outside your property because if you start doing that, that's when it becomes legal. That's when people start pressing charges on you. Okay.
You're right, and you know what? I mean, but every time I put the dog out just to play in the yard a little bit, the freaking dog would start to bark. Oh, it's like,
yeah. But see,
so he's got to stay in the house all day, and that's why my wife was freaking out.
Yeah. I was, I mean, like I said, when my parents had Misty, I mean, of course, they didn't have a problem, with the barking because, for one thing, there were people who were just straight up loud, who were always had arguments late at night, which were louder than the dogs barking. In fact, some of them actually thanked my parents thanked Misty for barking because it took a lot of cat burglars out of our neighborhood because they didn't know what to expect. They didn't want to get their butt chewed out, literally. So
that's the optimal word, Kiefer boy. You're right. They do make them these days, but in those days, you only had what is known as the electric fence.
Yeah.
Now they have, the little. They have the collar.
The collar thing, yeah.
Where if the dog barks too much, it gives them a little sting. They didn't have that shit then. If not, believe me, we would have gotten. I would have gotten one for the dog and one for my wife.
Yeah, I was just saying the same thing. I tried it on my wife. She didn't like it. That's why I'm divorced.
Okay. So that's what happened. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good happen.
Well,
yeah, you can get kinky there, ATT. Get kinky with your wife and give it one.
I do have some breaking news though. This just happened.
We got some breaking wind.
Yes.
Breaking.
A Central High School student was hit near the school earlier this morning. This is from Bernard O'Donnell from WMAZ. A 16-year-old girl was hit on her way to Central High School this morning. That's according to the Bibb County school spokeswoman Stephanie Hartley.
Wow.
It happened around 7:25 a.m. on Napier Avenue. This was almost a little over an hour ago. Hartley said that the girl was taken to the medical center of Central Georgia and her condition was unknown. She had no further information on the case, making police could not be reached for comment as of yet. So we will have more update on this as well as hopefully she will be fine. As you know, the Central student was hit near her school. Speaking of Central alumni,
Speaking of Flippin' Friday, we got a Flippin' Friday for you. Grab a chair over there.
Slim Sims.
Come on, muscle man.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, brother man.
Yes.
Well, Anthony B. Harris right here, folks.
Former mayoral
once
candidate.
Again, we're together once again. Do me a favor.
Anarchist/mayoral
Sit in
candidate.
your own.
Derek's going to forever introduce me that way.
Sit in the old spot there, old man.
I wish you would introduce me as former
Mayoral candidate.
former stripper at Hoot Toots.
Former mayoral candidate.
You remember Hoot Toots?
I don't know who did that.
That was a strip club in Macon, Georgia, early 90s.
That sounds like some porn cereal or something like
Yeah.
that. How about some Hootin' Toots?
So what?
The new Zeus, baby.
Sound like Frankenberry meets X-Mart or something like that. You know, sound like
YKMX
some X-rated porn cereal or something.
Look at that. I show up and people start leaving. Bye. Bye, everybody.
We're out of here.
Bye, Lady K. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Sabuki.
Shy Bookie is on. Say hello to Shy Bookie.
The only thing around here that makes people flee quicker than the daily bread is me.
Well, it's got about sports.
That's true. That's
Oh,
true.
gee, what they got against sports?
I just messed with it.
Wow.
Good morning.
Good morning, brother. Glad to have you on our show. We got 2 hours once again of fine television
Mayhem.
left. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes.
So let's take the first 15 minutes and talk about your experience yesterday that you put on Facebook. We talked about it, by the way. I'll let everybody know.
So what's the update news? See, I haven't been following the news today, or last night.
Well,
Any update?
DS is on.
What's
DS
up, DS?
says that they
Well,
have
give
a
a
new
big shout out
security system.
give a big shout out to DS.
Yeah, he's right there.
DS
Big
will
shout
shout
No,
out.
but he's the one that broke it on here yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
we
We
talked
talked
about
about
it.
it.
I went out there.
And
You know, I showed up right like a smidgen before the media.
really?
I took off. I got off the show. Remember, I said, I'm out of here, guys.
Did you say something on the media?
No, I purposely didn't. I purposely stayed away from the media because I didn't want to make this about, hey, there's Anthony hanging around in the background.
Thanks for all your help, he says, Ann.
No problem. No, I purposely stayed away from it, the cameras, because I knew what was happening if I was around there hanging around the cameras or walking back and forth, pulling a Mark Ballard at Rickards there. I knew what would have happened is you would have had some of your naysayers out there going, oh look, he's just like sticking his face back there.
Yeah.
So I was usually when the cameras were shooting in that spot they were shooting in, I was on the other end helping this nice lady Lisa clean out the shit and the piss from the dog pens.
Yeah.
Because needless to say, it was a lot, but you can understand why, because I'm sure those dogs were traumatized. Whoever came in there, it traumatized the other dogs, and that's probably why they were using the bathroom all over the place. I mean, their stalls, each stall was full of crap, which might be from the fear, of who the hell these people in here all of a sudden messing up shit. So, I helped her do that mainly. I mean, I did a little other stuff, but back to that in a minute. But I didn't want to just be all around that camera stuff, Because that guy from 13
going back to the
there.
experience, that really wasn't an issue with you, at least that I know of. On Facebook, you didn't mention anything about avoiding the media, but you did mention something.
Did you see how I was dressed?
Right, but you did
I
say
was covered,
something.
pretty much, for
You
2
did
reasons.
say something. I'm gonna let you say it, but let me lead
Let
into
it say
this.
it, okay.
You did say something about and describe the experience, and I think the heart-wrenching part was when you said something about a little dog's paw under the towel. Why don't you tell us that part?
Well, let me go. You want me to start from the beginning?
Great.
All right, so I show up. DS, of course, I'm not on the show. I'm at home on the chat, and DS, of course, is on here. And DS writes, breaking news. Someone broke into the All About Animals, and there's been.
And he did it right here on the show. A lot of you were on.
And
dogs didn't know about it.
I always had something in my heart for animals, especially dogs. I care more about them than humans, to tell you the truth. So I thought, I've never been there to volunteer per se. I've dropped stuff off with them. I've donated bedding to them before. I've done that before, but I've never actually been there for any length of time and did any volunteer work. So I said, this is the time to go because this sounds horrible. At the time when DS said dead animals, we didn't know whether the people that broke in killed the animals, whether animals killed each other. You know what I mean? We didn't know what. I just automatically took it as dead animals. Some asshole might have broken in there, stole animals, and in the process decided to kill a few. All we knew is they were dead animals. So I just thought, regardless.
And none of them were stolen or anything.
Well, I don't know. DS will know better. I found out last night finally that they were all returned or they were all found.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get to that. But I don't know. I mean, that kind of sounds fishy now to me too. But we'll get to that. But I just went there thinking, hey, these people are going to need help. I mean, not only are they going to be basically bawling their eyes out because they're devastated for what they have to see when they show up. These are people that know these animals like this. I don't know these animals. These people know these animals that were killed. They were like that with them. And I thought, these people are going to need help. So I went to help, like I said, I got down there as quick. I got down there a little after 11. I got down there as soon as possible. And the first thing I did, I walked in is, I don't remember the guy's name, older guy with gray hair. He was standing behind a pickup truck with another lady. And as Irv said, I walked up on him. I said, hi, my name's Anthony. I'm here to help in any way. And then I looked to the right and I glimpsed the back of the pickup truck. And there was, a couple of dog paws coming out of underneath the towel, a blanket that they just covered and loaded up to, I guess, take to the crematorium or wherever they were taking them to bury them.
Sad.
And so I thought, damn. And then, of course, first thing the guy says to me after highs, he says, well, we can't pay you. We're not paying. And I said, no, I'm not here to be paid. I said, I'm here to help. The guy might have thought I was just some guy coming out of the woodworks to make money, get money for helping. And I said, no, I'm here to help. So, so basically, shortly after that, this nice lady, Della, I believe her name was, she introduced herself to me. Then she said, well, you want to go with me to go look for some of these missing dogs? I said, sure. So we jumped in her car, her vehicle, and we started driving all around downtown looking for the so-called missing. No, well, she said when she raced there this morning after she heard what happened, she came down your street here. She came down Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Really?
She worked in Warner Robins, and so she shot down MLK Houston Avenue and to get to the All About Animals. Well, she said on the side of the road she had seen a dead white pit bull looking animal. She goes, I want to go back and check if that was one of ours. So we drove all the way back up this way.
And it wasn't.
No, we got out, we looked at it. It was a dead white pit bull.
That's the one that I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I was just he was dead.
And we looked at it, and she goes, we walked over to it, she goes, no, that's not one of ours. And then right before we got back in the vehicle to leave, a guy from across the street in the house comes out up to his fence. He has a fenced-in yard, and he says, "Hey, is that y'all's dog?" And I go, "No." And I walk over to him and I explain to him what's going on. And I said, "Have y'all seen any stray dogs running around here this morning?" And he said, "No, I saw one of those little like small wiener dogs up there, not far up here." And then I went back to Della and I said, "Are y'all missing a little, dachshund type dog too?" And she goes, "No, none of them were dachshunds." And so I told the guy, I said, "Well, okay, we'll appreciate it. I said, let them know. I said, let these people know all about animals if you see any dogs."
So this
running
white
around.
pit bull dog was found on Houston?
Well, yeah, going south.
Yeah, that's the
But-
dog. That's
but-
the dog.
but
So
that-
he's dead. You see what I'm talking
Well, that's
about?
not one of the ones from All About Animals.
No,
Right.
that's probably one of the ones that comes around here all the time.
Okay. Yeah, it was dead. Yeah. So basically, after driving around a little bit more, we came back to All About Animals, and at that point, of course, I went up to someone, I can't remember who, and I said, "So what do you want me to do?" Where
Good
can I-"
Time Radio. Good point. Thank you. He says, "May I suggest an online fundraiser for the dog rescue?"
I think they're already doing something like that. DS will know. I know people. I think
Thank you, Good
started
Time.
emptying their pocketbooks immediately and donating, but and I'm sure
Well,
as
let's see
DS
what we can do.
As DS said, I guess they're getting a security system, which is good. So I basically got back, and then I started helping out with the bedding. We went back into the storage room, that big storage warehouse, and we started getting stuff out to prepare other cages for the ones that would return from the vet. They'd already taken a lot to the vet that were injured, and they had to set up houses, little cots for them when they came back. So I helped do that a little bit, and then I was just kind of standing around some more, and people weren't really give me a task to do, so I just started helping Lisa and spraying down all the other cages and getting the shit and the feces out. And I ended up being there about 4 hours, and that was about it. And like I said, and shortly after I got there, the original time I got there, that young kid, Tom George from 13, shows up. He showed up literally 30 seconds after me, a minute after
He
me.
was the one that I saw Ginges with.
Yeah, he's the young guy that was all about Sammy Davis.
Yeah.
That was following us about
He was
Sammy.
following us.
So he got there, the media was there doing their thing, and I said, I'm not a spokesperson for this group, so I'm just going to stay away, stay in the back, and just stay back here. And
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't
Well,
want
just
to
it's not.
mar it. By the way, DS, where could people send donation? Might as well put it up. There, thank you. Boy, he thought I said it, and it was right on there. DS, you're the man.
Kaboom.
Kaboom, baby. We think in the same way. All about animals. There you go. Those are your two links if you guys want to help donate anything. They'll take even dog food. Shit, if we came with a nice little truck full of dog food,
right,
wouldn't that help?
right. Oh yeah, well, I've given dog food to them before, and other animal groups.
Yeah.
When I have the extra money, I do that. I'll go to those places and give them a bag of dog food.
But again, it goes back to what we're talking. We also talked about the new spayed neuter law in order to get an animal from the welfare, making animal welfare.
Right.
They have to be spayed and neutered before they could adopt. They have to agree to that and pay for that, I believe, up front, as opposed to taking a $50 deposit, which is what they were doing before. Now, what is the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is that people don't want to pay for doing what is right. You have to have the dog fixed, especially in this city. To have a female dog in a city, she's gonna get, for lack of a better term, she's gonna get raped. And
Well,
that
not-
dog's gonna come home pregnant.
Not if you're a responsible pet owner. That's why.
Exactly.
That's why I have
That's
a problem with the
what I'm
mandatory
talking about.
part of it.
But
'cause
that's
I don't
what
like
I'm
it
talking
being
about.
mandatory.
The key word is responsible.
Right.
All right, and if you're gonna take on an animal, you gotta pay for the vet, you gotta pay for the
Right.
fixing, you gotta buy it
Food.
the food, you gotta
Tender loving care.
yeah, and give it tender loving care and space to have that it can walk around.
But
You'll be
that's
fine.
but that's why I'm against that law, because it's mandatory and it only goes after the people that really already are responsible.
Yeah, that's
I don't need
that's
to
what
be
Avery
told.
Gibson said.
You know what? I'll say it on this show right here. We have a female dog, Zira, right?
Yes, you have
She-
2 beautiful dogs.
Well, Caesar's
I know, but it's still
Caesar's
a dog.
fixed and old as hell.
Yeah.
But Zira, we have not fixed her. She's
Why?
in heat right now because there's no need to fix her. We don't let her run loose.
Well, you
She
could
won't
breed
get
her.
pregnant. She won't get pregnant. We don't let her run out. She only goes out of the house on a leash with us at all times. If I take her to the dog park, she runs free there. But she doesn't get jumped on because we make sure that doesn't happen.
But you know, it's painful for them to go into heat, especially the females.
No, she's not painful. She's just
the
really
animal
excited.
goes through some pain.
She's not. I disagree. She jumps up and tries to hump my leg a lot.
I've
Every
only
once in
had
while.
a few dogs
But-
that I know from experience, I guess, because
No, I
a
mean,
lot of the dogs that I own.
She's a very
except
feisty,
later
vibrant
in
animal
life,
that likes
when
to
I
play.
fixed.
She likes to play.
See, it
She's
gets
very-
down right in.
And I don't think that the answer is to just make everybody pay this fine or get spayed and neutered just because you do have these idiots that do just let their dogs run loose in neighborhoods.
By the
We
way,
don't
just
do
to make
that
a
with our
point,
dogs.
guys, there's a $1,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of any person involved in this horrific crime.
Yes.
That's what DS just put out. That is an update. Thank you, DS.
And let me go back to that if we're on
Mm-hmm.
that, because and I don't know if y'all saw me post that, but I had a friend who wants to remain unnamed. They suggested the idea that PETA's in town right now, and of course I think a lot of people are giving me shit over that because
So you think Peter did that?
well, no, I don't. I put on there that if you read my little post, I said what I think happened.
Right.
I think it's a combination.
I thought about that.
I think it's a combination of people just wanting to get these dogs to make the easy buck off of it, plus to quench their thirst for violence, like you say, Irvin, all the time. And I do think it was people pissed off about Ellis losing. I think it's a combination of that. But a friend of mine came on and messaged me privately and said, you're aware that PETA happened to be in town the last 2 days, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that's an interesting theory. Because let's face it, people, you could be an animal lover, but it's kind of absurd to put a blanket over every animal group and go, every animal group is a great group that helps animals.
Yeah,
That's not true.
but
there are
right,
some crazy animal groups.
On behalf
crazy.
of PETA, let me just say this, and DS is saying this.
Right.
DS says, I was a PETA campaign organizer, spokesman, and I routinely have PETA staffers stay at my house in Cleveland, and I can tell you unequivocally that they have never nor will ever release shelter dogs just to let them fight each other to the death. Not even the ALF would do anything of that nature. I believe it was someone who had a vendetta against all of our animals for some reason or another.
Okay, that sounds good, but DS, let me ask you this. You want to wait till after break?
Yeah.
Cliffhanger?
Yes.
It's not a cliffhanger.
Yes, and
And of course, this is for the sake of debate.
AT&T,
Good
keep
debate.
your opinions to yourself.
No,
That's
it's all
your
about
opinion.
opinion. It's all about
it's
opinion.
9:01 a.m. right now in Macon, Georgia, Eastern Time. It's 64 degrees outside with a high of 77, a low of 60 degrees.
All right, we're going to come back.
We'll come back and we're going to have a couple of wing dang doodles of the hour since we missed the one for 8 o'clock. We're going to have 2 for the 9 o'clock hour. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House in downtown Macon. We'll be right back and we'll get back to you.
Ant's here.
Well, it's 9:11 a.m. here on the Nut House in the Morning Roast. With the
What do you think
signal.
of Detroit, though? I can imagine them coming up with a movie, Attack of the Pit Bulls.
Yeah, I can see that. Matter of
Or
fact,
like The Walking Dead.
matter of
Walking
fact,
in
actually,
Detroit.
tell you the truth, I actually wrote a story like that. I'm
Zombie
still-
dogs.
Actually, one called the Ghosts of Blue Dog Hill, basically, and it's kind of like a Pet Cemetery type situation.
Wow.
Well,
You know.
since we're on the dog subject still, that's
I got a
something
great
else.
Elton John song for that, too.
That's something else I want to throw in there, which
Yeah.
I was shocked to see.
Mm-hmm.
And DS, maybe you can verify or clear this up. But what the hell is everybody saying in the media, like these big stations, not the Morning Roast, that the people that did it just decided to have this impromptu dog fight on the grounds? That sounds like bullshit to me.
Is that how they place the story?
I read this morning one of the damn stories on either 41 or something that they're passing out that whoever did that decided to go ahead and have a dog fight on the grounds, and I'm thinking that's bullshit. Nobody in their right mind would sit there and hang around and be at risk of getting caught by having a dog fight in the middle of the night while dogs are barking. Yeah, that sounds ridiculous to me. That sounds fishy.
It does make sense.
That's why when my friend wrote the PETA thing, I thought, wait a minute, and this is why I want to ask DS this as well, because now that they found the missing dogs, where did they find them? Because even though I do think it was just some lowlifes that wanted to steal some pit bulls or dogs they thought were pit bulls, it was dark out, keep that in mind. If someone just went there with the sole intent of letting them loose, like a crazed radical PETA member would do, right?
Or some other
yeah, right? I see the story.
Let them loose, and then what happens when they let them loose is they realize, there's a few that are kind of aggressive, because let's face it, and DS will verify for this, some of those dogs they take in are ones that have been battered and bruised and hurt. They're kind of on edge, and they're kind of aggressive, and they're trying to heal them and put them back into a normal society with a loving human. But if some of those dogs were still a little aggressive, and these people let them out of that cage and realize, these are some mean dogs, like a couple of them are growling at this person while this is going on, they hightail out of there, and then those dogs attack the other dogs and hence kill them. That sounds more plausible to me.
Well, this is how they wrote the story.
Not a bunch of lowlifes going, hey guys, bring out your cash wad. Let's start having a dog fight at 4 a.m. at All About Animals and risk getting caught by the cops. I mean, that sounds stupid.
I think they just let them loose and the dog started to fight.
That's exactly. And that's why when my friend brought up PETA, I said, well, that's a very interesting theory. Because that seems a little more plausible than the media going, okay, what we're getting out of this is that the people just decided to have an impromptu dog fight.
No, actually, it wasn't because of that. I'm going to read the story, and I'll tell you why they're going with that story.
Go.
There's a guy named Jason Cheney, an All About Animals volunteer, and he spoke to the press.
Yeah.
And he said,
he's the vet, I believe.
I'm going to scan the story, so I'm not
I
reading
have the
every
video
detail. They're all sweet dogs, says Lacey Templeton. They have been given a second chance, so I mean, we work with them every day. We feed them and play with them and watch them. It's just the same. And then Cheney says, we're trying to get these dogs adopted in the community, and some idiots come in here and stage dog fights.
That's bullshit.
And now they're scared.
That's bullshit.
It has the video of it, so
you can't believe that these people wanted to stage a dog fight.
Yeah, go ahead and
bring on the video.
Footage. Probably one of the sickest feelings I've had in a really long time in my gut. It makes me very angry. We are very intimately involved in saving these dogs. These dogs have personalities. All they want to do is love. They don't want to fight. Yes, it's in their nature to do that, but that's not what what they want to do. They want to love and they want to be loved. So when you take an individual who has a sickness inside of them and does this to a dog, it hurts you. It hurts you in your soul.
DS.
I think that's where it comes from. Right.
But
and even though they weren't staging dog fights for money, they were staging dog fights. They were just they just went in there.
Do you believe in the middle of the night? I mean, in a spot outside near Central City Park where cops cruise, there's a bunch of guys, hoodlums, going, let's hang around and start making these dogs fight. That is
why not? I believe that. I believe that there are people out there and guys out there.
Seafood platter, man.
No way. No way. That's like someone
breaking in your house and taking a nap.
No.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
That's like somebody robbing you but hanging around and deciding to watch a 3-hour movie, watch Titanic on the VCR while they're stealing your shit.
And then take a nap.
No.
At that man, I would have woke him up with a 38.
Hold on. Yeah. All three of you talking at once.
They like
can't understand a fucking word you're saying.
All right, well, I shut up already. I'm letting them
talk.
Go, Derek, go. I like when Derek gets pissed.
Well, wait a minute. I'm the one that brought this up.
Okay. No, I brought it up. I said it's bullshit that they staged the fight. I brought it up.
I brought up the. Would you shut the f up?
Here
for a
we go
second,
again.
Stupid ass.
We try to take credit for everything. I brought up that the media
This is
says
not
that
a big
thing.
dog fight.
I'm
I'm not going to indulge in a dog fight.
Welcome back,
Anthony.
Dan.
Welcome back. I'm not going to be in a dog fight
but
with
let's
you.
go.
But I will say this, okay? You're going to tell me that there are no kids out there that are so dysfunctional that they could think in their vicious mind as a goof,
No.
on high, on meth,
No.
on something
No.
that. You're gonna tell
No.
me
No.
Anthony.
No, because
in this
when you
world, the
look,
way it is,
when you look at every
Give me
other,
a break,
Irvin, when you look at every other robbery lately, Bass Pro Shop, do these guys sit there and look like they're taking their sweet ass time? They're in and out like this. They know where to go. They're grabbing guns. They're
It's
in and out. They're
organized.
out.
So
out,
what
out.
do you think
These
they're
fuckers,
going in and out?
Irvin, these fuckers are not walking and going, "Hey man, look at the dogs, man."
No, they're not.
Hey, you
They're not
start
doing
fighting this one. They're not sitting around
They're not
staging
doing
dogs.
that. They're
That's
not-
what it says.
That's
Stage
not
the
what-
dog fight.
No.
one staged a dog fight. No, it's wrong.
But it could-
And,
but
and
it-
Shut
Irvin,
the hell
no,
up.
but let me
Let
tell
them
you,
do
because
it.
you weren't there, you don't know either. And this is something else I'll bring up.
I wasn't there. You were
Well,
there.
no,
All right,
no,
big freaking
but
deal.
I'ma tell you
the
why.
point is
No,
there
let me
are other
explain to you.
people that will do
Irvin,
that.
let me
Anthony.
explain to you.
People can and will be
DS
capable of doing
DS
it.
DS will vouch for this. Once you hear
You're
this,
going to
Irvin,
tell me that in this day and age, the
No,
way
yes, I am.
kids are killing
Yes, I am.
each other and hanging
but they're not
and-
hanging around watching
and
them do
they
it.
wouldn't think.
Irvin,
They
that
wouldn't
sounds
think they're
ridiculous.
doing that. They wouldn't think they're saying, goofing around, yeah, man, let's do this. Okay.
No,
Boom.
no, they
Yes, they would.
And let me tell you why
Yes,
you're
they
wrong.
would.
Let me tell you why, which someone thing you don't know is that DS will vouch for. When I was in there helping out, do you know that there was pictures of these dogs and their names and what they do,
And
right?
these guys don't give a
I'm not
rat's
finished.
ass about
I'm
it.
not finished. What you don't realize is each dog. There's the typical liberal response, right? Whatever. I don't want to hear the real point, so I'm gonna say whatever.
No, you
Well, let me
got
tell you
one,
this.
You
D-
got one
no,
idea how
DS
to
will
know,
vouch for this.
all right?
Do you know how many
It's not
dogs?
just your
No.
idea.
Do you
it's
know
a
how
freaking
many?
genius.
Irvin, do you know how many dogs were there where it said on the little picture and thing on their cage, this dog does not like other dogs. This dog is not good around kids. DS will vouch for that.
They do
you
have
go
on
down
Pit
the
Finder.
line.
They got it on
Listen,
Pit
you
Finder.
go down the line of those
Whatever.
cages, and some of those dogs were not sweet dogs necessarily. And DS will vouch for that.
Whatever.
I read them. I read it. I read names of them.
And so
This
you
one-
think that these guys that open up these cages and allow these animals to kill each other, let me finish, they're allowed that they're going to stand there and read?
That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying
You're
is
saying we're hanging around.
they opened up the cages on purpose and checked the hell out of there, knowing that these dogs could kill each other. They did it on purpose.
So you're
That's
saying
it.
what I said.
That's it.
But they didn't stage
Some
a dog
good
fight.
Samaritan didn't
But
jump
you're
in
sitting
there
there saying they
and open up
staged
the
the dog
cage.
fight.
So wacky kids like this.
You're agreeing with the media
Some
saying they
wacky
staged
kids
a dog
like this,
fight.
that they staged a dog fight
They did not
because
stage
out of
a dog
fun
fight.
or recreation or hatred
bullshit.
or whatever
Bullshit.
is running through their
Bullshit.
freaking
They did
messed
not
up,
stage.
coked
Stage
up,
means
of
this.
No. They cannot be. First of all,
Stage-
coked up people are not that damn organized for one
Stage
thing.
is the wrong
They
word.
can't. You can't be
You know what?
coked up and high and then try to do some stupid
I
stuff like that.
act
Because
on
if they
stage,
did, they
okay?
would have been caught.
Stage
Because ain't
means-
nobody that damn high gonna be that damn bright
The
and
radio's
still
all yours
and
now.
be able to leave
The
there.
radio's
too.
all yours now.
They would have been
Keep
caught
an eye on
too.
that number 3 inch.
They would have been put in jail too long with the freaking
It's running a little
dog.
hot.
I'm just saying. They're just.
Stryker, before we start, I'd like to say something.
Gladiators?
I know that right now things must look pretty rough up there.
We're gonna crash this
You do what I
plane
tell
in
you.
a
When I
second.
tell you to do it,
There's no reason why you shouldn't have complete confidence in your chances to come out of this thing alive and in one piece.
Stryker, what kind of weather?
Whatever. Thank you, Ed.
DS has a good point.
right.
DS says that they didn't
All right,
stick
it's calm
around.
down.
But
Thank
then,
you.
but then staged is the wrong term. And when the media uses words like that, it completely throws everybody off, and it's basically propaganda.
Okay, well,
because
let
they
me
didn't
ask you a
stage
question.
it.
Let me ask you a question.
They didn't stage
Let me ask you a question. What is your
Yeah, I go over.
Alright, now, what do you think? In my mind, it's just a bunch of kids or whatever, some assholes, trying to have a go at this idea of, oh, this is funny, let's just do this, fuck it, who cares? Okay, that's my thinking.
Okay.
What is your thinking? Why would somebody jump into a shelter for animals? And it's not a shelter, by the way, folks. We're using the wrong terminology. They may have
It's
used
a
the wrong
sanctuary.
term. It is a rescue sanctuary.
Sanctuary is what it is.
Okay, for these animals. Why would they jump in there, open up all the cages, and allow all these sorts to just run around aimlessly and then disappear? They obviously weren't hanging around. They did it and they were out.
Well, if you read my post, I said what I think it was. I think it was people that are in this so-called culture, which I hate that term, of wanting to make money fighting animals because they don't want to get off their lazy ass and work. They knew from hanging around that park, there's lots of reasons to be at that park. You go to the fair, you go to all these things, they hang out there. Mm-hmm. They saw, looking through the fences throughout the days, weeks, months, they saw that there were a bunch of pit bull-like animals there. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, you know what? I am in the business of doing these fights, or I want to be. They wanted to go get some stock for their business, so to speak, mm-hmm. and they went there to try to take some. What happened is it was dark. They could not see very well. Like Diaz said, he doubts they had flashlights. And then they picked ones that they thought looked like pit bulls that would fight. So they started opening cages. Well, they realized that some they couldn't get because those were aggressive and growling at them. Mm-hmm. And they thought, fuck those, we're not messing with those. And then they tried to take the ones that were missing. Mm-hmm. This is what I think happened. Then I add in the fact that maybe it was some people that combined with that, they were pissed off that their guy Ellis lost. You know, because a lot of people online are like, oh man, you black people, now we're going to have to, you know, be subservient to the white man again, Rickard won. You know, they're saying that shit online. They are. And I think it was a mix of let's fuck this city up again by doing this, which just puts another shame on Macon, right? And that's what I think it was. Now, this was before I found out they found the dogs. But but when the media says they went in there and staged it, they didn't stage it. I'm an actor. I know what staging means. Staging means you take the time to block it out, to put people together, to make something happen. These kids did not go in there with the risk of getting caught and going, hey man, let's get this one to fight this one, and let's throw this little one in as bait. That's bullshit.
Is that what this guy
That's what the media is saying, staging. That makes it sound like they staged a dog fight and hung around for 8 hours. That's not what they did. I bet that. And then when my friend wrote to me last night, privately said, Anthony, you know, PETA's in town. I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I thought, you know, that is kind of weird. Because for 2 days, ironically, PETA's in town, dressed as a condom. Look it up, Ed. Passing out literature on overpopulation of pets, right? Oh, right? They're downtown, dressed as a condom. Ed will find the picture.
But I can't see them doing that.
Well, but I don't think
one place.
I don't think they did it either. But I would not. What I kept saying all day and night, and this morning was that if you're a true investigating entity, you cover all your fucking bases, okay? You send an investigator to PETA and you ask those questions to those people that were here. And you see if they're lying. You can interrogate and tell if somebody's lying. You don't just automatically go, oh, PETA wouldn't do it. Ignore PETA and let's go after this other boogeyman that we automatically assume it is. That's not real investigating, and that's why this police department sucks cock. Because they don't do their work.
But let me ask
so they
you a
need
question.
to do their work.
Well, let me ask you a question, though.
Yes.
Why would you think that PETA had something to do with this when PETA is all about saving animals and being advocates?
Pull up thousands of cases of PETA doing radical, crazy shit. You don't know about PETA, Irvin?
Of course, I have them in my hotel. I know what they're like.
I'm an Irvin lover. I'm an Irvin lover too. I'm a dog lover, but I even know PETA and think PETA's a little extreme. I mean, those fuckers do some crazy stuff.
There's
if you want to speak of crazy.
There's a place in New York known as Sam's Furs. Sam's Furs. It's like a big fur house.
Right.
And PETA, they used to have events at my hotel with mink furs and all that shit. And Peter would always
Throw
take the
paint
banquet room next door
Yeah.
and like barrage their thing. I had that happen. I know they have these tactics.
Yes.
But they're all about saving animals. They're not going to allow
But
animals to kill each
but
other.
that's my point.
To make it
But
point.
that
That's
falls
the
in-
point of their whole.
But that falls into my friend's thinking. That they went there with the mentality of letting them loose to save the animals. I want to let them loose to save them, free the animals. They're caged up. But then they realize some of those animals are aggressive and don't do well with other animals. And what did those animals do? They started fighting. They killed each other. And the PETA fuckers said, I'm getting the fuck out of here now. And we tried our best to get rid of some of these and help them and get them out of here and free them. That is a plausible situation. That's very plausible. I don't think they did it. But for the investigators locally not to look into that avenue is
Real
shoddy
Man
investigation.
Real Man Points does agree with you. He says PETA kills a vast majority of animals in their care that they are supposed to be saving. Is that true? DS Photo Guy was a PETA volunteer and spokesman. So we have him right here with us. He's also now one of the main volunteers, along with his significant other Lacey, for All About Animals, the shelter that was broken into, and what we're talking about today.
DS says it's as true as Obama being born in Kenya.
All right, well, there you go. There
But
you
see,
go. There's your answer. He doesn't believe it.
Well,
and the reason is because he knows he's been there with that institution.
No, that's not the
They
reason.
don't kill animals to make their
DS
point.
is a good guy, but you can't say DS knows everything about PETA. No one knows everything
If
about
nothing
everything.
else, Peter's going to get on their ass about this because
Well,
they allowed this shit
All
to
I
happen.
know is that the investigating entity in this city should be questioning those people that were here passing out literature on overpopulation dressed as condoms. If I was a damn chief of police or sheriff, I would put someone on those people to at least question them and cover all bases. And if you're not, then you know what? You're doing shoddy police work and you're chasing a boogeyman that doesn't exist. I mean, hopefully they catch the people that did this, but to just go after one type of person / culture and ignore another that has shown through history that they can be as wacky as anybody else that's anti-dog or these dog fighters is really just
All right, let's keep
absurd.
moving this along. I got the story up that says what you say, Anthony. And I want DS to, this is on behalf of Real Porns, thank you for sending the link. He says, shocking photos. PETA's secret slaughter of kittens and puppies. And then it even gives you a warning that the photos may distress the reader. PETA, for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. PETA is an organization that publicly claims to represent the best interests of animals. Indeed, their ethical treatment. Yet approximately 2,000 animals pass through PETA's front door every year, and very few make it out alive. The vast majority, 96% in 2011, exit the facility out the back door after they have been killed when a pet cremation services of Tidewater stops by on a regular visit to pick up their remains. Between these visits, the bodies are stored in a giant walk-in freezer PETA installed for this very purpose. It is a freezer that costs $9,370, and like the company which incinerates the bodies of PETA's victims, was paid for with the donations of animal lovers who could never have imagined that the money they donated to help animals would be used to end their lives instead. In fact, in the last 11 years, PETA has killed 29,426 dogs, rabbits, cats, and other domestic animals. Most animal lovers find this hard to believe, but seeing is believing. And if it's true that a picture speaks 1,000 words, the following images speaks volumes about who and what PETA stands for. There you have it. And it goes on.
Give the
You can
source.
read
Give the source of that, just so we are
the
fair.
source is the blog.
From the Huffington Post.
Yeah, and I believe somebody, Real Porns, Real Men Porns send it. Thank you, Real Men Porns.
Okay.
You can find it at HuffingtonPost.com.
Yes.
Look in.
As you see on the message post right here.
Irvin, Ed, Derek, what do we always say about this city? They sweep shit under the rug, okay? If it was a PETA member, it goes right along with Macon's typical attitude towards things. Sweep it under the rug. If they did do it, let's not dare say that because, oh my God, imagine the maelstrom that would hit Macon nationally if that hit the national news that PETA members were in Macon for a couple of days and then did that to All About Animals. Macon is trying to look better to the society and to the world and to the country, right? They got a new mayor, once again, who's trying to do things right and build a better future. You know, they don't want this kind of black eye.
Yeah, because
and
heaven forbid we have the animal things going on because we definitely have problems trying to, with the human beings get along, human population. Heaven forbid we don't want the canine population.
Let me ask you a question.
Well, let me ask Seafluke this. Sorry, Irvin. Seafluke, if PETA... Why hasn't anybody that was here locally from PETA said anything about this? Right? I would think that a spokesperson from PETA would go, we were just in Macon, we had people in Macon doing this overpopulation campaign, stop overpopulation of pets, and we're very sorry to hear what happened. If PETA is such a great animal-loving place, why hasn't any spokesman from higher up said something right now about that? Because they had members here when it happened.
All right, well, maybe politically that's not going to help All About Animals.
We're not trying to help
wait a minute.
politically. We're trying to help animals.
But All About Animals does not need that kind of publicity from PETA to step in and say, we as a holier-than-thou institution, feel bad about what happened. They don't need to be doing that. What they need to be doing, and maybe it did happen. I mean, you don't know. I mean, DS may know, but there are maybe connections with PETA, and PETA is already voiced their concern to the people at All About Animals. And they've already, like I said, and DS mentioned this morning, he brought it, they already have a security system now. They were donated a security
system. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Shout out, applause for the company that donated.
And maybe,
but Ed,
maybe PETA was involved in that. We don't even know where it came from.
Ed, pull this up, because you like to put crazy pictures, because you're going to get the condom picture anyway. Pull up the article. I read it last night when my friend had messaged me about this. Read the article on PETA being here. This shit reads like another... it was, just type in PETA in Macon... overpopulation of dogs, and then put yesterday's date or the 16th of October, and pull this story but read it.
I know.
And you know what it reads like?
What?
Another one of these. Newtown Macon, in conjunction with PETA, has brought this here about the spay and neuter law. It's another pro-Macon, let's sweep shit under the rug bullshit story. And you would be the first to call.
Maybe this is an anti-PETA.
Read the story, Irvin. Send it to Irvin.
Somebody trying to attack PETA and its causes by doing this? What about
I don't know what it is.
It's a possibility.
It is. I like to keep all...
You're right. PETA was here, and they talked about this. Maybe they're trying to disgrace PETA. Maybe there were some anti-PETA people that stood around.
That could be. Possibly. So put that on the investigation list.
Right.
Make you a list, Chief Carswell, since you're still in office. It's not consolidation yet. Or Davis, Sheriff. Yeah. Make a list. Go talk to members of PETA. Go into neighborhoods where dog fights are prevalent and talk to people there. Do what Irvin said. Look into people that might have something against PETA. Investigate everybody, but not this goddamn, well, we're going to just forget all these possibilities and go with the obvious and a bunch of hoodlum kids that wanted to stage a fight at 5 in the fucking morning with no risk of getting caught. I mean, that sounds stupid.
And no flashlights.
That sounds stupid. That anybody would hang around a place where they're trespassing and stage a fight and hang around. That sounds like... I mean, that makes Macon out like we're a bunch of fucking idiots to believe that. Yeah. You know, I mean, bad choice of word, Dr. Cheney, whatever. If you didn't mean to say staging a fight, you shouldn't have used that terminology.
Okay, and I get Ant's point now. Just don't blame the usual suspect with sagging pants.
Well, look at all of them. I mean, I'm the person that thinks it is the kind of usual suspects. Mm-hmm. I think it's somebody trying to get some dogs to dog fight, and they're just like scumbags. But I think keep everything
That's
else
what
open.
I said.
I think keep everything else open.
That's what I was
exactly.
saying. We were saying the same thing all the time. So what was the
Yeah,
argument? all
well,
about?
because you were acting like they would hang around their sweet time, decide to grill hot dogs and watch some dogs fight.
No,
where they're trespassing.
no,
That's what you
like
made it
they're
sound
tailgating.
like.
That's
Yeah,
what
like
I
they're
said.
tailgating at a Georgia
I never
football
said
game.
that. That
Hey,
went through your
yeah.
freaking brain.
Hey, T-Money, let's watch
I
these
never
two
said
fight
that.
right here. Pass me
Stupid.
another 40 ounce. I mean, that's what
Stupid.
you. No, that's
I
what the
never
stu-
said that.
You did. You said people would take their sweet ass time and walk around and enjoy what
Listen,
they're doing.
while guys go out to drink and go out
Do
and
that.
smoke weed and bullshit on the street, and they're all like in a reverie in this the massive.
But they're on their
little-
own
wait a minute, let
property.
me
They're not
finish.
trespassing.
And they're walking around and they see the dogs and maybe they started looking at the dog and shit. And some asshole starts to jump the fence, jump in there, and the next thing you know, the next guy does it, and they all do it, and they all just like trespassing, feeling good about themselves. Go around, maybe read the things and see the fuck it, let's do the make a night of it. That's what
But
they
they're
did.
not
That's
hanging
what
out
I feel
afterwards.
they
They
did.
do it and leave.
Let's make a night
Yeah.
of
Do
it.
it
Let's
and
be
leave.
despicable.
They don't stage a fight. They do it and leave.
And plus, I said
It's
they
not
have
about
the-
staging it. It's
Well,
about
that's
just.
the word. Both stories I saw.
Well,
I
they
think-
did
I
stage
think-
a fight by
I think-
allowing those animals.
I think
to
the
come
Telegraph
out.
used the same
But
terminology.
even still, like I said, like, even if they went to do it just for the heck of it, but the bottom line is they cannot have been heavily on drugs or something like meth, and it certainly could not have been on weed, because if they would have been on weed, they definitely would not have been able. They would have gotten caught.
I'm just saying,
They
bunch
still
of
haven't
guys,
gotten caught yet.
A bunch of guys getting together. I've seen it happen. I've been in that where all of us get together. Some of us are drunk
But
and high.
Macon Telegraph on their front page says, and this is what the problem is with local news,
Yes.
Okay.
is
Preach it, Ed.
dogfighting may have been a motive. So right now, everybody's head thinking, oh,
Yeah,
dogfighting.
but
Well,
that
why not
may have
then?
been a motive.
They,
A motive of some
They're
asshole
meeting
to
the
say,
public on
let's
that.
watch these dogs fight. Since the culture in Georgia is all about dog fighting, look at what happened with Michael Vick, where he was so stoned in that whole world that he didn't even realize that it was.
He wasn't stoned. His own damn family had it in his own damn house. I would have kicked those bastards out my damn self.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Redo your damn research.
Black man's mad. I know the
Now all of a sudden,
Just do your research.
I guess you like dog fighting too. It sounds like you're defending him.
I'm not defending. You're the one who you're the one who defended. That's smoking weed.
You're defending Michael Vick.
I wouldn't do it. I don't do anything before I do a couple of smoking
Oh,
weed.
by the way, a
Please.
disgusting culture that you grew up in. I never grew up
Oh,
in.
don't you even talking about grew up in
Insanity
Mr.
of
Puerto
getting
Rican guy
animals.
talking about dog fighting? You had the cop fighting? Get out of here with that bullshit. Sit your ass in the damn corner. Don't come in with that bullshit. Come on, man. Get your ass. Get out of here. Get your ass over there with that BS.
He's the cop that would shoot the dog and not give a shit about it.
And here's the guy who probably would shoot the damn rooster and shit and
also-
sell the damn church's chicken and get a 2-piece.
And you know what you can use against them too?
I
know.
would sell
This damn spick loves bullfighting.
Yeah, exactly.
And sell the damn shit to Wendy's.
A damn culture that kills bulls.
come on, man, I'm getting a headache.
He did. He did
All right,
grow up in
everybody
that
shut
shit.
up.
He
I didn't grow up in that
he
shit.
well, not you personally, but this is the culture that it comes from.
Time out.
It was prophylactic pandemonium on the corner of
This is
3rd
it.
and Cherry
PETA,
Streets
listen.
in Macon today,
Look at this
as the
condom.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA,
Look at this
was
big
in
dick.
town to bring awareness to pet overpopulation by using a rather eye-catching mascot. Yes, you are looking at giant condoms waving at you. Dressed as the colorful contraceptives, PETA representatives had handed out informational flyers to passing
Was that you under
citizens,
there, Anthony?
urging everyone to spay and neuter their
No, I
pets.
got there with a real condom
Katie
on
R.,
me.
PETA's
Standing there
campaign
naked with my
manager,
cock hard.
That
says
would've been
it's
a great,
important to bring
get up
awareness
for
to
you
this
to do as
issue
man.
using unorthodox and creative ways in order to get as much attention as possible.
PETA's been taking our giant condoms around the country
Interview
for the last
these
few
three
years
people
because
right
they're
here.
a fun and
4.
upbeat way to get attention
Interview
for a
them.
very serious issue, which is the animal overpopulation crisis. Roughly 4 to 6 million dogs and cats are dumped in shelters in the U.S. every year, and 10,000 are euthanized daily due to a lack of good homes.
That certainly is a way to get anybody's attention. Well, Macon recently adopted new spay-neuter laws. According to PETA, the best ways you can help prevent unwanted animals from being born, aside from spaying and neutering, is to support your local animal shelters by always adopting. PETA also added, it's important to encourage your local legislators to pass a mandatory spay and neuter law if they haven't done so already. If you'd like more information on how you can help, you can visit PETA.org.
What's the other one? Banana.
But see, so
All right, well,
that's
wait a minute.
great
All
what
right,
they're doing. What
so
they're
That
doing.
was from Ashley Manelli from 41 NBC
Yeah, when
News.
you guys are talking, they can't hear the video. The viewers can't hear what's going on. All you do is hear you guys. So when we're building videos, you guys type in.
Yeah, what do condoms have to
Donnie.
do with PETA?
No, they're trying. They said it, Donnie. They're trying to grab attention. It's the same as me dressing up when I was doing my mayor run. I was dressing in costumes to get attention for my run for mayor, and that's understandable. But my point is that they were in town, and then all of a sudden, some animals that are caged up are let loose. I would maybe look at them as a possible suspect, because if you type up other times when PETA's done that across the nation, busted in places and let animals loose, you're going to find it. They do it at laboratories where rats and shit are being tested on and everywhere. Oh!
Yeah, well, I know.
And I'm surprised you're not all on this, Irvin, because you're the guy that likes
Because
to
I don't
stir it
believe
up.
that Peter would do
You're the
it.
guy
I
that likes
believe
to call people
anti-Peter
out.
Peter
Or
would
you're
do
the
it.
Irvin that goes, "You fuckers, I don't trust you fucking assholes.
I
You
think-
always sweep shit under the ground. That's why this city fucking sucks."
No,
I'm expecting Irvin to say that.
I believe that it is because of the acceptable culture of dogfighting in the South that these guys can go there. I mean, I can't go there watching two animals biting each other to death. But there are people in Georgia, in the community, which is what I meant by what I said to you. Not that you believe in that culture, but the fact that the culture is so prevalent here that even a guy like Michael Vick brought it to the light that he was like, I didn't know
Michael
it was
Vick's
such a
cousins
bad
brought
thing.
it to the
How
light.
in the world could you not know that two dogs ripping each other apart to
Yes.
death do you part, bloodied up,
Yes.
is not a bad thing? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
how
saying it's bad. I'm not
blind you are to
defending
the
what they're doing.
idea. I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
That's how blind people in this community can be to the fact that dogs attack each other. They love that shit.
Yeah,
They
it's
live
evil.
but they laugh at that shit. So why would it be so out of the ordinary, such a far-fetched idea that a bunch of stupid-ass kids that grew up with maybe their uncle doing it or their parents or somebody like a Michael Vick who was stuck in that whole system, for them to go in that with the desire to see the very thing
The
that
difference-
they grew up loving as a sport.
The
and
difference
as
is this though.
entertainment.
The difference is this: it's like they had it at a dog. This dog sanctuary show that was got to be the worst place to have it. It's like basically
Exactly.
that's like having a freaking
Well,
a
that's
prostitution.
what it
That's
is.
like
Right.
having a
You're
prostitution
right.
ring
You're right.
at
I mean-
one of the at a police station or something like
you
that.
think
Where Michael Vick, where they had the dogs at his house, which mostly was
Private property.
property
Where
that
you're
he
not
owned.
going to have cops show up.
Exactly.
One at a time, one at a time.
Yes.
So they
Thank you.
knew. They knew ahead of time that it was illegal. They knew that it was illegal, and they still did it.
Yes, they still
And
did.
that's the point. These kids know that it's illegal to go into a shelter, at night, open up cages, set off whatever. What makes you think that these kids are going to have the mindset and saying, well, I'm not going to be stupid and do this because I'm going to get caught? They don't give a shit. They went in there, in and out.
They have that
They
much
did what
sense.
they had to do. I don't think they have any
They
sense.
were not sitting
what
there-
sense can you bring
Irvin,
to the table
you honestly
on people
believe
going into a
you
shelter,
honestly
opening up
believe
cages
a person,
and allowing
even with
animals
a
to kill each
40,
other?
you
What
honestly
sense?
believe a person with a 40 IQ would still sit around at the scene of a crime and hang out and take their sweet
I
ass
didn't
time?
say that.
You are. You're
I'm
saying they went to
saying that
stage
they
it
were
and they
probably
enjoyed it and they said,
staging.
let's watch these
I'm
dogs
sure they
fight.
did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because you know what? What you might not have heard too is the first person that showed up yesterday showed up while those dogs were fighting still. No humans were around that let them loose. The first person that showed up,
Most
which
times,
is
you know.
not in the media, the first person that showed up was a person that showed up, tried to separate dogs from fighting at like 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, and that person got bit. He or she had to go get stitches. Now that wasn't in the local media.
No, what was in the local media was a police officer.
So that also shows that dogs were already fighting when that first person arrived, and there wasn't a bunch of guys hanging around watching them fight.
No, I don't think that's
well,
what
then
they
why
meant.
is the
Nobody's
media
gonna be
saying
stupid enough to do
staged? No
that,
one
Andy.
staged a fucking dog fight. That sounds
Maybe
stupid.
they staged it and they ran the hell out of
They
there
didn't
when they
stage
saw
it.
they was
I think they tried to
Who
steal
don't
some
know?
dogs to have their own dog
We're
fighting.
trying to figure out on speculation
And get
what
back
happened.
at 'em for
Until
jealous
they
losing.
catch those fuckers. But by the way, there is a $1,000 reward being offered to anybody who has information leading to the arrest of these horrible people, criminals, that would allow these animals to be killed in the way they did. Terrible stuff.
It is
It
terrible.
brings up a lot of emotions, a lot of issues. It's not just about neutering the dogs. It's about saving these animals or making sure that they're not born to begin with.
But
We need to cut down on breeding dogs.
It's inane as hell,
we've got an
though.
overabundance of
It's
them.
inane as hell for anybody, including the law enforcement agency, to just throw disregard to any other possible thing that happened, including what you think might have happened, including what he thinks, what I think, or what somebody thinks about PETA. It's just shoddy detective work to not at least interview those 4 people that were here from PETA.
Okay,
Okay,
well
that's
said.
all I'm saying.
All right, that's it, and we're going to move on. All right, we're going to move on.
There's a crazy. I do have something dog related though.
Well, that was an awesome segment. See,
Yes.
no morning show around here would have a segment that awesome.
No,
No,
not
they
that
wouldn't.
hot. Okay,
I do have some crazy. Yes,
Pat
thank you.
ourselves on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ed, pat you
Yeah.
on the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's I guess this would be the wing dang doodle of the hour right here about attack on a Chihuahua that draws the police. Here we
A
go.
Chihuahua. Ay, Chihuahua.
Yes. Here it is.
Yo
news.
quiero Taco Bell.
There was a police call that came in and Seattle police responded. The reported crime, assault on a Chihuahua. When they got to the scene this week, the dog's owner filled them in. She alleges that a man in her apartment complex had spit on her small dog from an upper balcony. She told officers this was the first time she had problems with the man. On their website, police reported that they tried to contact the suspect at his apartment, but no one came to the door. See, the official police report noted that the Chihuahua was not seriously hurt. The officers could not resist adding that the dog was declining to speak with officers. Okay.
That's like an Onion story, yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
ends
it was-
with the dog declined to speak with officers.
Yeah.
No,
Let me guess, this was written by somebody in Macon, Georgia.
no.
No, it was from WMAC.
Yeah, WMAC. All right.
Jeez.
Well, it was written by them. By the way, Ann, he says, email, this is from Seaflow.
Hey, Seafluke.
Email Katie Arth at the, at,
KDA at PETA.org.
Good suggestion.
yeah.
Hey, I might as well. Again, it's not that I believe it. I don't think PETA's involved. But you know what? If I got to go out there, if the local police is not going to take that route, then shit, why not? Why not? I mean, we've already had to do the police's work around here in the past year, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit. Let's do more of their work for them.
What?
What the hell? I mean, if they can't do all of it, fuck it. You know?
Well,
You know she's either not gonna write me back or she's gonna go, no, as official spokesperson, PETA had nothing to do with that horrific event. That's all.
they're not going to admit to something that's so heinous.
Well, I mean, and again, it's just
and I don't think
it
they
needs
should.
to be looked into. That's all I'm saying. It needs to be looked into.
All right, well, I thought we moved on. All right.
well,
He stayed with the dog story. So
Well,
Yeah,
here
that's
we
another
go.
story.
We got, you're right,
But
the
people-
Greek Festival is on today. For those of you who
that shit's
are...
Greek to me, man. I don't understand
Yeah.
it.
The Holy Cross Greek.
Oh, I like the tie-in. Greek festival, PETA, PITA, PETA. PETA. Wow.
PETA
look at that
bread.
That's a different
segue.
kind of PETA.
Look at that segue. PETA.
Yeah, well, the Holy Cross, Greek Orthodox Historic Church in downtown Macon,
Time for daily bread.
is holding their 6th annual Greek Festival. Join us for Greek food, dancing, and fun.
Opa!
We have plenty of Greek salads, gyro, chicken Slovakia,
Russian.
pasticcio,
Zorba.
domades, baklava, domades and delectable desserts, live Greek music, and Greek dancing.
And there's,
Go
a
ahead,
big,
Anthony,
and,
give
there's
us a
gonna,
Greek
and
dance.
there's gonna be a big
What's a
condom,
Greek
there's gonna be a
dance,
big
Anthony?
condom hanging outside passing out pamphlets.
By the way, there's religious stores, religious artifacts, art shopping, and jewelry. Opa, 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 opa.
Yes.
Whatever the hell that is.
So Irvin, are you going?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to be there.
Is Kuzma
Are you gonna
taking
be
you?
there?
I doubt it. I go camping tomorrow morning early with my son.
So what?
I'll be gone
The
till
Greek
Sunday.
Festival is at 6 p.m.
It's all weekend. I thought it's tomorrow too,
No, it's today.
and tomorrow, right? No.
And, well, I don't know.
I might go by there today. Yeah, I'm broke as shit until my check comes. so I can go by.
DS, Greek Festival today, 6 o'clock. Is that it?
Oh, tomorrow's
Saturday and Sunday,
Oh,
too.
Opa means wow. Thank you.
and also this weekend's the Oktoberfest, which I can't be here for. But I don't drink beer anymore anyway. I don't drink anymore.
No,
But-
But you can get the Brentworth.
11
can't you?
a.m.
Look at the link. Look at the link. It says October 18th, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
So it's today, right?
That's
Today.
Okay.
Shout out to my mom. Her birthday was yesterday, October 17th.
Happy birthday, Mama.
She is.
How do you say that in
And,
German?
She is 73.
And tomorrow and Sunday, 11 to 10. So
I'm not sure. To answer your question, I'm not sure. I should because I used to get a lot of birthday cards when I was little from my German grandmother, and they would say it in German real big on the card. It's like Guberstag, happy birthday, something like Guberstag. Somebody will look it up, but I don't know exactly how you say happy birthday in German.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
she's 73. 73. She was born in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by the way, Sabuki says, I'm sure in Ant's head he sounds funny when he opens up his mouth. You're right. Yeah. Anyway.
At least I'm not dressed like a fucking Jawa, Saibuki.
Dang.
You short Frank. You short feck.
Wasn't he an
Just kidding.
Ewok?
He was not the Jawa.
Oh, by the
I'm
way,
just kidding.
speaking of Star Wars.
Oh, wait
now
a
that
minute.
you
She
brought
actually
it up,
did. She actually did say. I think what was it? Michelle Stacy said this. It's Alles Guten zu
Yes,
Geburtstag.
Guberstag. I knew Guberstag was
Yeah,
in
there you
there.
go. Speaking of
Alles
Greek
Guten
language.
Thank you, Michelle.
Speaking of Greek language,
Okay.
Star Wars, town of Mos Espa.
Mos Espa. That's in the actual movie. That's
Well,
Mos
it's
Espa. Spaceport.
well, you better go visit it in Tatooine.
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 That's Luke Skywalker's planet.
Well, you better go there because it's being swallowed up by the Sahara Desert.
Wow.
The deep in the Tanzania Sahara Desert is an abandoned settlement, partly submerged by sand, somehow alien yet strangely familiar. The surrounding landscape looks like it's from another world, in a galaxy far, far away.
I had the video, but it's like 50
Which is
minutes.
why movie producer, director George Lucas chose it as the location for filming parts of the blockbuster Star Wars series. The Tanzanian Sahara has transformed to Tatooine, the
Yeah.
barren planet
With
with
twin
twin
sons.
sons. That was the bird. Oh Jesus!
We
That
know,
would've been so
we know what it is.
emotional.
If you know Star Wars, you knew
Anyway,
what you
it's
know
been
what
swallowed up.
Tatooine is and Tatooine
And they got pictures of it.
Bespin and
Yeah, they got pictures
Moss
of it and all
Eisley
that
and Moss
shit.
Espa. We know.
Thank you, Edward.
But what's more interesting to me is that you said it's being
Well,
swallowed
it's being
up.
swallowed up.
So I got a question for Michelle, since she knows all about swallowing.
Yeah, ever since
What does she
by the
feel
way,
about that?
ever since the movie, they finished the movie in 2003, sand dunes have surrounded the film set from every side. They should not have been allowed this to happen, he said. But scientists have tracked the movement of a large sand dune, which has already started to cover the set. It is moving at a rate of 4 centimeters per day, and it won't be long before the alien town is buried beneath
So basically,
the
an inch
sand.
and a half a day of sand.
Wow. And if you
it's
look
collecting.
at the pictures, we could go to CNN. You'll see the pictures of the town.
Just copy and paste.
Well, Saibuki just said that it's and they still have Lars, which is Uncle Lars and Aunt Baru. That's the uncle and aunt of Luke.
Mm-hmm.
The homestead is. He says it's looking a bit rough.
Yeah.
That's Chewbacca.
So Saibuki, before it completely disappears, grab me like a big handful of that actual Tatooine sand and send it to me.
That'd be really
By
great.
the way, not to be racist here, but that Chewbacca guy sure looks like him when he gets mad.
I love Chewbacca's face, man. I wish I had a nose. I wish I had a nose like Chewbacca.
By the way,
Dogs
do a
have the
Chewbacca.
best noses.
Do a
Diversity.
Chewbacca.
He's the
No,
best.
like and
Diversity
the
is-
sound effect.
diversity
Let's see
he
who
is
comes
not.
closer.
Now, I do have something in common with Chewbacca,
What?
and it's the 19 factor. Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, we have the same birthday. May 19th.
May 19th.
All right, well,
It
can you
is.
do a
Peter
Chewbacca?
Mayhew.
You know what would be more interesting than that little artifact? And make the noise. Make the noise.
He's better at it. Can it, furball?
All right, wait a minute.
That's more like a Jawa.
I think I have a better Chewbacca.
Please don't solo sleep. Don't
Yeah.
sleep. Who was that? Jabba or Greedo? Solo. Jabba. I do a horrible Jabba.
Do not. There is no trial. Yes.
There's Derek just before
Speaking
he
of trying to be
explodes.
sportful, last night,
I'm out of here.
just want to say,
Right.
last night we had a credible game. Of course, it was on the NFL Network. The game between the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Diamondback. Arizona.
I'm out of
Cardinals.
here.
Yeah.
The final. Well, it's only one game that they had. The rest of them all
Alright,
Sunday night.
Yeah, but then we got to deal with wrestling for 30 minutes.
Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 34-22, and
Wow, undefeated.
yeah, they're still undefeated. And of course, like I said, Peyton Manning, who's now the current quarterback for the Denver Broncos, he's coming back and playing his old team, the Indianapolis Colts, Sunday night. So definitely going to check that. That's going to be a wing dang dinger of a game. As you know, last night the Detroit lost to the Boston Red Sox 4-3 last night on Fox in the ALCS. The Red Sox lead the series 3-2. If the Red Sox be able to play, I think they play again Saturday night. That'll be Game 6. If they win Saturday night, if Boston wins, they'll go straight to the World Series. Whereas the St. Louis Cardinals and the LA Dodgers, they're playing tonight, Game 6 of the NLCS, which will be on TBS tonight. Is Game 6.
And don't be MIA.
Yeah, it's Game 6. So the St. Louis Cardinals, they also lead the series 3-2 in the NLCS. If they beat the Dodgers tonight, they will go to the World Series and play whoever wins between Boston or Detroit. That's pretty much all the sports, and college football, and we have Mercer's playing tomorrow, and Georgia's playing tomorrow. Both have home games.
Why do I have a feeling like Detroit's going to be kind of like that loser's circle at WMAZ? It's like, Detroit always is like beaten with everything. Crime is horrible. We just did a story about the bad dog population. Their team gets beat. It's like Detroit's going to be like the most loser city going in the next year or two. It's already
They are the loser. They're
and
the
it's like
biggest city
it's almost
ever
like if
to
Irvin and I
grow.
showed up off a Greyhound bus in Detroit and they saw us show up. It was like the MAZ that night when we walked in on the loser circle. If Irvin and I showed up in Detroit, they would all turn and look at us and just faint.
Boy,
Oh hell!
y'all just optimistic, aren't you? That's right. Jeez.
Well, you're the one that said they lost last night.
Think about
Well,
it.
they did. I mean,
A lot of that population in Detroit, they're like those, cast out.
Teabagging
What would have been like a leper
colony.
Yeah.
Of rejects of society and people that hate their lives and people that look like monsters when they walk down the block, scary as hell, and that whole society that we all are a part of, believe it or not, except that they just got it in more numbers.
Yeah, just at a higher scale.
on a higher scale.
Heaven forbid if we do go that route, though. I tell you.
It is quite weird.
Ew.
Kind of like this picture.
Speaking of Detroit, you guys see the picture of the new RoboCop? The shot from the new RoboCop movie? That shit looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Got a picture up on the new RoboCop. Somebody have it. Put it.
I just reminded me. They were talking about they're making the new RoboCop movie, and they showed it a few weeks ago.
All right.
That
was on a rebound. Yeah, after they got rid of that schmuck. What's his name?
What, LeBron?
Ariel Castro.
Oh yeah, him too.
Yeah, that pervert.
I like that. I like that Ed gives you guys the signal for time for the top of the hour.
Well, it's 10:02 a.m. Yeah, exactly, Chewy. It's 63. It's 63 degrees outside in Macon, Georgia.
Picture.
63 and cloudy in Macon with a high of 77 degrees and a low of 60. We may have a slight chance of showers.
Don't rain tomorrow when I'm camping with Max. I hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, this is.
Well, fuck it. The video, I can't find it now.
Wow,
And we're on.
we are back.
Wow.
A big 500 kilo meteorite. Or
About half a ton.
Yeah, half a ton, or 1,100 pounds.
Yeah, well, that's it. I just know it better as about half a ton.
I mean, that had a big explosion out at Little Rock. Could you imagine one like 3 miles wide? What's going to happen?
Yeah, it'd be no more. Yeah.
No more what?
Whatever it hits. If it hit Meg, it'd be
Well,
no
they
more
say the previous one that came close to Earth, say it's going to come back around again in 20 years and hit us.
I'll be 64 years old.
When I get older,
64.
When I'm 64.
You're 44 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it means
Yes.
you got 20 years to sing.
Yeah,
that.
so
You'll be
speaking of-
71 or
Yeah.
20 years.
I'll be
But
so
speaking of
old.
which-
Fucker.
What do you think? It's 10:10 right now in
I feel so old now. It's
10 a.m. in Macon, Georgia, Eastern Time. It's 63 degrees and cloudy in Macon. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House with Irv, Ed, DB, and Ant right here.
I'm making a new Jib Jab video, and I'm
With
going to
all the
have
council?
Gibson.
Good.
I'm going to have Tim Lee,
Lucas.
and I'm going to have Lucas.
There,
Oh, wow.
You brought up Jib Jab. There's one, because like I said, a friend of mine like 3 or 4 years ago made a bunch of these for, I don't know how to do it.
Oh, and hey, Three Bears. I
You
know.
can't, unless you pay for it, you can't get them all.
Well, a friend of mine made a bunch with us, with my family, and sent it, and I still have them way back in my sent box on the computer. But there's one also, Ed, you might want to find. It's Olympic themed. You can put your head on like a high diver, and,
Yeah.
and the person climbs up to the diving board and jumps off and does a flip. You can put your head on that.
Huh.
He did one of those. There's one with like 4 guys all break dancing. Like break dancing, you can put like gold chain. They had gold chains around it. There's the Halloween one. There's a Star Wars one or two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, my friend Austin did this. And there's a High School Musical one that's pretty funny.
Oh,
He had
wow.
put my head and Heather's head on the 2 love interests in High School Musical.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what Zac Efron and whoever the hell that other woman is.
Vanessa Lundgren.
But yeah, there's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of those.
Yeah.
They're funny, but if you see them too much, they get kind of old.
You know those teen. Speaking of which, what about that teen girl that the parents of the teen girl who bullied that 14-year-old girl and made her jump to her death, that suicide? I mean, wasn't that kind of like just so nonchalant the way they do it? No, I don't
Well,
think
of
so.
course, bullying's ridiculous, and no one likes it, and it's stupid, and it's
Yeah.
just asinine. But again, I have to say what I say. You got to have thick skin. I mean, I just don't think the girl should have just taken it so hard. Who wasn't bullied? Hell, I was bullied in school. Who wasn't bullied?
Shoot,
I didn't go
bullied like a mug.
You don't want to give them. You don't want to let them win by killing yourself.
Exactly,
How the fuck did you
exactly.
give them that gratification?
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to give
it's
them
very
great.
sad.
Which matter of fact, speaking of bullies, the new version of Carrie is going to be out in theaters tonight.
And
October
I have no
18th.
desire to see it.
I would just like to see it simply because of the special effects, though. I mean, but the thing that always got me about that story is basically, Carrie was a girl that was always picked on, and then they just happened to pick on her when she's just taking a shower after
Has
pee,
her period,
had
yeah.
a period, her very first one, and the girls, and I'm like, aren't those women kind of douchebags in a way because I mean,
Well, that's the point. They're all her classmates were supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, teenagers. I mean, I can understand seeing dudes doing that, but yeah, well, they are cunts. I mean, there's no question.
I mean, females they say are the most vicious of the species. That goes without saying.
But the thing is, how you gonna make fun of that?
Right, Michelle?
Because they go through the same thing that she does. Why you gonna go do that and then they throwing tampons at her ass? I mean, you can't do that to a dude. You know, throw condoms at him. To my thank you very much. I get to sleep with your sister.
I guess because let me tell you. I guess because when Stephen King wrote the book, maybe he was trying to make some kind of metaphor or symbolic gesture by saying that when a woman is on her period. Think about it. It happens one time of the month, right?
For 4 to 5 days.
Right. What else happens one time of the month?
The moon?
The moon, exactly, okay? The moon, so the woman's going through changes, and the pack mentality, you have these girls that are all jumping on top of her in a pack mentality, like wolves that are howling at the moon, right? So maybe King, and I'm just guessing, maybe King was writing that in there because he was trying to make the point that it's a time of the month. This woman is not normal. Sissy Spacek's character. I like the Sissy Spacek version better, so I'll say Karen, Sissy Spacek. You know, she's already affected by this lunatic mother who's a religious nut. She's already kind of,
who's always
introverted, shy. So she's the easy target for this pack of bitches to pick on.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know.
I mean, you got a point to an extent, but I'm just saying, like, I saw it, first time I saw it, I was getting bullied a lot. And heaven forbid if I had those powers, because, man, trust me, if I had the powers that Sissy Spacek's Carrie had, or even the one in this version right here, I'm telling you, if they weren't dead, I tell you, they would be missing. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it.
If I had Carrie's powers, none of these people that just got into elected office would have gotten into elected office. That's all I gotta say. If I had Carrie's powers, bye Rickard, bye Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
Bye all of you.
Yeah, that was his video I was trying to play. His speech he gave.
Who?
Rickard.
Oh, I never saw it.
His latest.
I haven't been keeping. The only thing on the news I've kept up with is this thing that happened at the All About Animals. A little bit I've kept up with, and that's all I haven't been following. To me, the election's dead to me. They're both bad choices. We knew that a bad choice was going to be picked, and that's all you can say.
Yeah, but see, Flood, I agree. But the thing is like this: if you could make it, I mean, you got to be those women. I'm not saying all, but those particular females that were messing with Carrie, they were total d-bags. I mean, you just making fun of a chick because of that, and then throw two tampons. I mean, men, we do some heinous, repugnant, disgusting stuff.
I love the segue here.
But I'm just saying,
tampon throwing too.
I mean, we do some heinous stuff, but that's just some things that men just don't do. I mean, we do some cruel stuff, but we don't make fun of somebody that's bleeding in front of us. I mean, unless you are like a mob boss or a drug dealer or a gangbanger or something like that. I mean, unless you like some meth fiend shot somebody on Breaking Bad. I mean, 9 times out of 10. Most guys don't do that type of stuff. I mean, we do, but that's just something we just don't.
So you think women are really douchebags? Do you think it was all women that broke it all about animals?
No, I'm just saying in the particular part in Carrie.
Oh, okay.
So if you got, ladies, if you got a problem, don't get mad at me. Get mad at Stephen King. I'm just saying he's the one who wrote the book.
All right, the end. By the way, speaking of the end,
from one DB to another DB, a daily bread.
Speaking of one end to the other,
from DB to DB,
from one end to the other, the end, or the end. Yeah, kind of a 19 factor. Is it really over? That story about the shelter, the story about everything else. Is it really over? The end. The end? That's the title of today's Our Daily Bread for October 18th, 2013. Keep going, Anthony.
Oh my goodness.
Keep going. Everything in this world eventually comes to an end. Like Anthony's singing, which at times can be disheartening.
Hurry up, please.
It's the feeling you get when you read a book that's so good, you don't want it to end. Like this show, too. Yeah, I know you don't want it to end. It's got to end sometime.
I love this show.
Or when you watch a movie that you wish would go on a little while longer. But all things good and bad do come to the end. In fact, life ultimately does come to an end sometime sooner than we expect. All of us who have stood by the casket of a loved one knows of the painless emptiness of a heart that wishes it wasn't over. Thankfully, Jesus steps into the fray of terminal disappointments. And through his death and resurrection, he interjects hope for us. In him, the end is a prelude to a death-free eternity, and words like "it's over" are replaced with a joy-filled forever. Since our bodies are not an eternal reality, Paul assures us that we shall all be changed. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51. And reminds us that because of Christ's conquering work, we can confidently say, "O death, where is your victory?" Verse 55. So let not your hearts be troubled, dear children. Our sorrow is real, but we can be filled with gratitude because God gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Lord, keep our eyes and hearts fixed not on the temporary joys or disappointments, but on the victorious realities of eternity. Thank you for your death and the resurrection that guarantees our future forever. In Christ, the end is only the beginning. And today's Bible read in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 57, but thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. There you have it.
We're going to do the drill for October 18th.
The end for now. For now. Thank you, Anthony.
So was there a 19 factor in there?
For being my...
How does that connect to our stories today? Chase needs to make. Our buddy Chase Ambridge works for Fox.
Yeah.
He needs to make a theme song with that. I'm gonna say, Chase, mash it up. Chase with him.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we got a dancing pig.
Woo!
Anyway, so
Now
that was good.
Fox
Okay, how does this relate to the
to our stories? Yes. Yours
Yeah.
related. Let's do it.
Well,
Other than this show is the bottom of the pits. It's at the end. No, go ahead. Oh hell, this is definitely the end coming up.
By the way, everyone watched you picking up your tea bag, and they're asking if you're looking at Derek's tea bag.
Yeah. I almost teabagged Derek in the face.
Okay.
Well, that's a good birthday.
Here's the thing. In the end, somebody's gonna get caught. The end will always be a victory.
The
Think
end
about
justifies the means.
Always, of course.
No, that's not
it's
true.
Just
That's
like
not
the
true.
end.
No.
I mean, look. Even if the victory is upon someone's death,
but
at least they stop suffering. So in the end, there is a victory.
There's a lot of
They stop
cases
suffering.
where people got away with stuff and never were caught, and no end was reached.
Well, then that's not an end.
But you just said everything comes
That
to
doesn't
an end.
apply.
You said everything comes to an end.
Well, I
Justice
think
doesn't.
what you asked me was the question: how does it relate to what we have today?
Right.
And that story talked about in the end there is a victory because in the beginning starts at the end. In other words, Jesus dying on the cross, he died because of his death and the end of his life. We now have a new life, a new hope, so that the end ends in a good story. I believe in the same spirit that the dog issue with these dogs getting let loose and this horrible event is going to end with a victory. And how's that? Well, for the little dogs who suffered and died,
Let's hope it does.
there is no victory.
But-
However, those that will get caught will get their due diligence justice.
They will get their
But what? Okay.
justice.
But what about the cases like you talked on here a couple days ago? Baby Hope. They have not found who did that, so no end has
In
come for
22
that.
years, they did.
No, they didn't find who did it. They
Of
just-
course they did.
They didn't
That
say
was
they
just on the
arrested
news.
anybody. They just said
No.
They said they're bringing it back
They just-
up,
they
right?
did- no.
I thought they said the
They
investigation.
even have her name.
Well, who
a
was
little
it?
Spanish girl. Bring up the story, Ed. Somebody, please.
A girl did it.
No, it was the cousin, the older cousin.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So they arrested him 22 years later. We
Okay,
talked,
but then
we
go-
talked about
okay.
it on the show.
Well,
that
I
it was not
apologize
to
for
have
that, not
family.
knowing that. But in other cases where they haven't caught people that are missing, the culprits, I mean, you can't say that the end always comes in victory. That's
I'm not. Maybe I'm an optimist, but
Well,
I
I know.
believe that this
All right,
story
all
in the
right,
animal.
all right. Baby Hope case. Why didn't anyone in Angelica Castillo's family ever report her missing? 22 years after her body was found inside a cooler in a wooded area in Upper Manhattan, Baby Hope finally has a name. Angelica Castillo and her cousin Conrado Juarez has been arrested for her sexual assault and murder. But the question remains, why didn't anyone in her reportedly large family come forward to report the 4-year-old missing?
That's got it. That was the first thing I asked. I was like, well, what about the mother? The mother was never involved. She was a child that had no name. Nobody knew. Her name was
That's
Baby.
good.
Well, it goes on to
But-
say that immigrants, even those in the country legally, sometimes are reluctant to report crimes to law enforcement.
right.
Because it's,
They'll
it's
have a green card. They'll be shipped back.
Yeah, because they're
The
scared.
DNA solved the case. And the point of that story, that why, and it's ironic that you brought it up because we talked about it this week.
Yeah, I was on the
That-
chat when y'all were talking about
Yeah,
it.
that we
But-
talked about family and that the detectives
I
had.
just didn't hear that they caught somebody.
But they caught the guy, and the fact that, you know, even just a victory, know who the victim was, and still not knowing who murdered her was good enough. But we got it where they even found the person that did it.
But you know what I'm saying. There's
Which
cases
is
where
fantastic,
people have not
and
been
I
caught.
believe that's going to happen with the little dogs.
I mean, there's cases where people have not been caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. There's plenty of.
I mean, they never really knew who D.B. Cooper was, the guy who hijacked. You know, that
they
hasn't
never
come
knew
to an
who
end.
the Boston Strangler was either.
Well, no, they caught him. That was Albert DeSalvo.
Never know.
Albert DeSalvo. But you know, I mean, yeah, you want to have that happy ending, of course.
I
do.
believe
of
it.
course
In
you do.
the end,
But
the justice will be had.
unfortunately,
somehow.
sometimes the bad guy wins, and that's just
Yeah.
unfortunate. Sometimes the bad guy wins.
Well,
Yeah, that's kind of.
I mean,
we'll see. I have hope. I really hope to God they do catch those people. Whoever did it gets some
prime
time in jail.
example?
And they're probably going to give them nothing.
well, a prime example, Irvin. Look at all the lynchings in the South in the old days. Those people were never caught and executed
Never
and
caught.
tried. I mean,
That's
there's
true.
a lot of times where people don't get caught. I mean,
Or if they
don't get
even get
justice
convicted,
is not
yeah.
served.
Like the killer of Emmett Till. I
Yeah.
mean, they were
let loose.
let loose, yeah. So-
Yeah, but in the end, they got exposed, no?
Well, they admitted to a interview that we did it.
They acted like they were justified in it. They acted like they had a right to do
You
it.
know, I mean, because usually in a normal situation, if you're a grown freaking man and you kidnap and kill a 9th grader or 14-year-old, you should be put under the jailhouse.
And
But
they did it.
unfortunately,
You see, this is why I believe
Yeah.
that it would be that people can be that diabolical. Look at what happened with Emmett Till. I mean, it was like fun for them. It was a sport. They probably
Because he-
laughing and doing
they
it.
claim-
because
They
he
did it
whistled
to
on a white
Jesus.
woman.
They did it to the
allegedly
dogs.
whistling at a white
I
woman.
believe that that's what happened. These kids went in there as a goof, whatever morbid goof they had. They went in there, opened up those cages, let them out, screw it all. I mean, I believe there are people that are that diabolical to think in that manner. It's not there is no rational thinking behind it. They're not going to look at signs whether the dogs bite or not. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to go in there with the idea of let's have fun, let's watch these animals kill each other. They saw it got out of hand, they run the shit out of there. and before anybody noticed.
I don't
That
know.
area, doesn't really have any.
No,
big-
but it's not in the
Not well
but
lit.
it's not in the boondocks. I mean, it's right in an area where cops always patrol. I
Supposedly.
mean, cops have a station less than a mile up the street from it.
Yeah.
I don't
a
think
mile
that.
in Georgia is a long
No, it's less than a mile. It's right up there at Cherry Street.
Well, they have one right here
I mean,
down the block.
The thing about it is that I just don't think they were hanging around. And we're going back to an old story. I don't want to do that. But I just don't think they were hanging around enjoying themselves watching a fight like the media portrays it.
Yeah.
They staged a fight. I don't.
Yeah, Uncle
that's-
Salty, we're back on tour.
Yeah.
The three meatheads back on tour. Uncle Salty.
Speaking
I
of-
decided to show up since I knew Chris Payne couldn't on Friday. Usually Chris shows up, but Chris is now out working on that movie. He's up in
Yeah.
Atlanta working on
I
it.
gotta get some
secret
new
movie.
headshot done.
By the way,
I already did a
little
day on that
trailer.
movie. I did a day on that movie last
I
night.
like that little trailer you put out.
Which one?
The one that we showed on our show.
Oh, I didn't put it out. Will, that's all Will Grammars. He put that
Yeah.
together. I just helped get the locations. I was a producer.
Well, we were just trying.
It'll be fun when we do the
hopefully,
movie.
if there's anyone who wanted,
Thank
contribute to, to.
Well, yeah,
this,
but he hasn't put the complete thing up yet, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want it shared.
No.
They have to put the whole Indiegogo thing up
Yeah.
with him. That was just, he finished the trailer.
By the way, Mystic Shitter says, there are some people in our society nothing more than psychos walking around like a load of guns ready to go off. Absolutely.
Of course.
Yes, there are evil people out there that have no feeling at all. That's Three Bears. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Derek needs a headshot.
Hello,
OTT.
Three Bears.
Let's discuss why Derek looks like a beat-up ex-golfer pro today.
Derek just needs head.
He needs sex. He needs
Forget the
Tiger
headshot.
Wood.
He just
He
needs
needs
head.
a Tiger Wood life. He's hoping to have a Tiger Wood life. With
Any
his
Spanish
Tiger
women
Wood
out there
life.
willing to oblige?
Now, how many women did Tiger Wood bang with his big wood? With his club? Huh?
Yeah.
Tiger Wood.
See, so Derek is aspiring to be a Tiger Wood without having to walk across any
Shit,
fields
Derek's
and golf.
older than Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Tiger Woods aspiring to be Derek, bitches. Age comes first. He was there before Tiger was.
Yeah.
No, if Derek was a dog right now, he'd be humping on somebody's leg.
He is a dog. He's an alum. Alum of Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, he can bench for three
man.
Tiger Woods.
And Irvin wants to be Willie Shoemaker.
The jockey. Oh my goodness.
I don't care.
Talking about. I thought y'all didn't like sports. Anyway.
I just like humping his seat like I'm riding a horse.
Yeah, baby, yeah. Shoemaker, the horse.
Whatever.
Right, baby.
Victory.
I'm a shoemaker.
Well,
By the way, Anthony,
Yes.
what sport would you be? What guy
What
do
figure?
you think yourself?
Well, people used to tell me, I never thought it, and they say it really after he lost his hair, but people used to say that I resembled Andre Agassi. Do y'all see that? Especially once he went bald.
You're just as
Yeah,
annoying
so-
as
yeah.
he is.
No,
Yeah.
you're mixing them up with John McEnroe.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I don't think I look like Andre Agassi, but I used to be told that,
No, you look
especially
like
when
John
he
McEnroe
shaved.
with no
yeah.
hair.
Do I look like Andre
Yeah, a
Agassi?
little bit. Just a little.
Maybe Andre Agassi. Starts with an
Yeah.
A. Starts with an A.
Did you
See?
just say
Yeah.
hockey? Anthony's a natural puck.
Is that Sabuki?
Jeez.
Is that Sabuki?
That's
That's
Muhammad.
Muhammad Hussein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm a natural. I'm a puck off.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
I've been told that too.
Michael-
Michael Keaton. I've been
Speaking,
told that.
speaking of sports,
Puck
all
off.
that stuff in
Puck
the
off.
South and stuff,
Muhammad.
I just was reading on here that Ole Miss University,
Oh, here we
University of
go.
Mississippi, they already have elected
There we
a
go.
brand new homecoming queen.
Was
Her
it a
name-
fat white woman this time?
No, she's actually a slim blonde woman.
Ah.
Megan Macbeth, who defeated Megan
I thought you said
Macbeth defeated senior public policy leadership major Madison Coburn. She received 2,300 votes, or 58%, 58.61%, and Coburn received 1,628, or 41% of the votes. So she's the new homecoming queen.
Why
for
they
this
show a
season.
picture of this asshole? There's no
Well, he
picture
was
of
running.
him.
Well, he's running for us. Well, he was running for, I guess, the.
And this guy
student
looks
council.
like a real crooked politician. Look at this
Look
kid.
at
Does
that
this guy
hair,
not
dude.
look like
He's a one. He's
Fake
he's
hair.
a politician in the making.
Yeah, does he not look like he's gonna be Ted Kennedy Jr.? I mean, what the fuck?
But it's kind of funny though. A year ago, we actually played a Tommy Sotomayor video of Courtney Pearson, who was like the very first black homecoming
We
queen
had
for
a
Ole
big
Miss.
argument about it. Well, not a big argument.
Well,
Oh,
it was-
so this is Ole Miss again? Has it been that long?
And that's actually,
Wow.
and that's actually one of the few cases where I actually kind of flipped my original thought. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't agree. I thought that they were just trying to move forward. I wasn't looking at the racist thing. And then we did what 2 stories after that
So
about
naive.
Ole Miss doing something else racist.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at these two and I said, you guys might be right.
Yeah,
maybe
you
Ole,
showed- you
maybe
showed-
Ole Miss is just a bunch of fucking redneck
You
racists.
showed your true naivete at the fact.
No, I can just admit when I might be wrong.
yeah, I mean,
You never admit when you're
I just did on that case. I did. Ask
He
them.
did, he
I
did.
at first said that I didn't think it was racism, and then after hearing more stories about other stuff with Ole Miss, I said, okay, maybe you guys were right about that.
I must have a mental lapse.
No, you
Because-
just were listening to me with your bad ear.
because it was because I thought it was really fishy. Like it took them 50 years and they couldn't find.
Everything that goes in that ear is bad. You're right.
I just thought it was really fishy that they picked. It took them 50 years to find get a black homecoming queen, and they just got some random precious looking one. They couldn't find Courtney Pearson who won last.
Let me ask you a question.
So,
Let me ask you a question.
precious.
Do you think that girl?
that's a whole different. precious.
You think that girl got banged?
The fat one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe if a couple
There's
of
some brothers out there that like that big chunk. They like chunk.
some.
There's some white guys that like chunk.
Yes, there are some chubby chasers. There are some
Yeah.
chubby chasers, some troll trappers.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and the Cal 2000 says fat girls need love too. I bet you got a fat wife.
There's some Toll House elves out there that like that chunky
Unless
chocolate.
yours were.
There's some Toll House elves that like chunky chocolate.
Dang man!
Well, I'm telling
Don't ruin chocolate chip cookies for me, man.
As soon as he leaves, we're gonna stop at the store and buy them Kroger brand chocolate. He's gonna be so hungry.
I
He's
love
thinking
sweetie pie. No
That's
snackers
really-
on.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Trying to keep my blood sugar down.
That's right. Man, I sure want Oreos right now. I love Oreos. Did you see that story about Oreos are as addictive as Coke? Have y'all done that story?
Really?
Oh
Man,
man!
I love
They could
Oreos.
be.
There's a story.
have them?
I love Oreos. It's my favorite cookie.
I go through like the one.
My
ring
favorite
and a
cookies
half.
are Oreos and vanilla wafers. But Oreos are my favorite. And I tell you what, there's a story about Oreos. Experts say Oreos can be as addictive as cocaine.
Wow.
Oh, my
Maybe they
goodness.
put some kind of cocaine in it.
Read that shit.
Okay,
All that white cream.
and we got 10.
Where'd that come from?
Oh my, yeah. Where'd that
I'm
go?
gonna start opening an Oreo and just sniffing the inside.
You know,
Like he's chopping
you
up the
need people
frosting.
like me. You need people like me. To go say, "Dog on the bad guy." Or where the figure cookies?
It's
So
not.
don't.
We need to do a skit where a guy's acting like Scarface, and instead of his desk, he's got a big pile of Oreos and he's shotting his M16. He's like, read it.
Oh my goodness, that's the wing dang doodle of the hour right here.
It's not gonna let you
here we
read
go.
it, is it? They better let you read it. They can block that shit.
Crazy stuff. It better not. Yeah, it's basically saying Oreos addictive.
No, that we're okay. Keep going.
Well, that's according to the CSMonitor.com, ChristianScienceMonitor.com. It says undergraduate researchers at Connecticut College found that rats respond to Oreo cookies much like they respond to cocaine and morphine.
Wow.
If you happen to be a Nabisco,
Look how good those look. I want to eat one.
If you happen to be a Nabisco executive who is currently considering adding cocaine to Oreo cookies, long list of ingredients, you probably not need to bother.
Researchers say don't bother.
Yes, it says that researchers at Connecticut College have found that rats tend to behave toward the iconic cookies the same way they behave toward cocaine and morphine. The researchers,
That's true.
a team of 4 undergraduates led by Conn College neuroscience professor Joseph Schroeder, placed rats in a maze with Oreo cookies on one side and rice cakes on the other, measuring the amount of time the rats spent on each side. Can you believe that?
No, well, you know what? That makes sense, but I think it's sugar in general. Because and I can speak on this. We have a pet rat. My kids have a pet rat named Oreo. Y'all have heard me talk about her. Named Oreo. She's the sweetest animal. And you know what? She loves me more than anybody because I hang out with her. And she sits on my shoulder.
Go figure.
But listen,
A
it's
rat
true.
loves you.
It's true. I feed her like her grain and her important healthy stuff, but occasionally I will give her a snack that's really sweet. I sometimes give her Frankenberry. I sometimes give her a marshmallow out of Lucky Charms. And I've given her Oreo pieces before. And you know what? And cookies and vanilla wafers. And she does go crazy for those sugary things. She grabs it through the cage. She takes it down to the bottom level of her cage. She's got like a 3-story
But
cage.
isn't
and
that...
she loves it.
Isn't
She loves
that... Wait a minute.
It's the sugar.
I agree. 3 bears. Oreos being addictive as a cocaine. Who paid for the study? That's one. Number 2,
Pay for
when it comes to rats eat walls
No.
and plaster of
Yeah, but
Paris
no.
and wood and
Irvin.
anything.
What
makes them all of a sudden?
Because when
it's
I
a
turn-
sweet item. Of course
Right.
they're going to be addicted.
But
to
they
it.
don't eat everything.
It doesn't mean it's an
I've
addiction.
had Oreo, our pet Oreo.
They're going
I've
to be liking it.
I've had her turn shit down I give her. She
Mm-hmm.
does not eat everything. She will turn down some bland shit. She won't eat everything. That's not true that rats eat everything. But they do go crazy when it's sugar, man. They go crazy. They grab that shit quick out of my finger.
Well, take a warning from Nicole. He says rats have been known to go nuts on sugar late night.
Yeah.
They escape the cage and chew your jugular vein in half.
Yeah. Gotta wear a turtleneck sweater at night, man.
I can see Anthony with Oreo stuff.
But you know what's
Oreo loves me, man. She sits on my shoulder when I watch TV and shit. When I watch the morning roast sometimes at home, she's on my shoulder.
You know what's so funny?
See that the rat has been looking.
It's funny that you
The rats
mentioned.
watch it
It's
more
funny
than
that you mentioned Oreo cookies because one of my favorite
I love
ice
it.
cream flavors besides the Neapolitan, we have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. My probably the next favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream, and that's made of what? Oreo cookies.
Oreo's my favorite.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Interesting.
It doesn't.
Watchdog wants his DB
I don't know that the study. They put their good hard-earned money on the study. Obviously, it costs money, and for them to say, "Oh, rats like Oreo cookies," like rats like anything, and especially anything sweet.
Yeah.
They like cheese. Hello. So what are we going to have, a study on rats liking cheese? I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Right there. Muhammad Hussein says, 4 undergrads thought this shit up. I want a second opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's stupid. And rats are addicted to Oreo. No, they just like it like they would like cheese.
Like sugar,
and they would
sugar.
like
Yeah.
freaking plaster of Paris.
City
woman.
Bump says that Peter isn't mad about this Oreo rat study. You must be a snickerdoodle raisin oatmeal Toll House cookie type of guy. You're not no Oreo guy.
Nikhil, how would you know? Did you do a study with bloody tampons to attract rats? I mean, you ain't got nothing better to do.
They said there's a bacon flavored
I've heard
ice
that
cream.
too. I've heard that too.
There
He
is
said yes, he did.
now there is a bacon flavored
To the point.
microwave popcorn. I did have that before.
Ew.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. But
Rats will eat anything they
I mean, if
need
you're
to
starving,
survive. The don't go, let's go after Oreos.
No, but that's the Russian spy. That's not true. I'm telling you, a domesticated rat that hasn't made like our pet Oreo does. That rat eats better than some humans eat.
yeah.
That rat doesn't eat just anything. I'm serious. There's some stuff I would try to give that rat and it doesn't want it. It drops it in its cage, leaves it, and I clean its cage out every week or so, and I throw it away. But you give it some certain things like Oreos, vanilla wafers, sweet cereals. That rat grabs it out of my hand real quick as fast as it can, runs to the bottom of his cage and eats it and just loves it.
Yeah, he is a
Russian
spoiled
spies are
rat.
spoiled over
It
here.
is a spoiled rat.
Yeah.
You journey rat.
Well, he's got
Man, what is this cornflake? Man, give
It's
me
a
this.
fancy rat. It's a pet
I
rat.
mean, then this is good.
I'm gonna
we
bring-
got,
can I
we
bring
got
Oreo?
the spoiled
Can I bring-
rat with the spoiled rat.
Rat, awesome. Can I bring Oreo on the show one
Of
time?
course, I
One
would
time
love
I'm gonna bring Oreo. Oreo will hang out and run around this
Yeah,
thing. I
I
hope
love
you're
it.
not scared of rats.
Bring
Yeah.
him on. Bring
No,
him on.
just the ones that are in sewers. So
Of course
that's
not. You sit next to Irvin every day.
Well, if something happens, then
But,
we can always bury him outside with the little 3 dogs that I have out there.
Oh.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
I'm-
Birthdays!
Cracker Dick the squirrels gang up on old ladies in the park.
Yes, we have some celebrity birthdays here of people that we know and some don't know who, well, maybe we
Happy
shouldn't have.
birthday.
And some don't care.
Yes, happy birthday to Zac Efron, actor and singer who rose to fame on Troy Borden High and High School Musical. Won a Bravo Award in 2010 for Best Male TV Star. He's Zac Efron. He's 26 years old. Grammy Award-winning songwriter who was in a Hal Davis Starlight Award in the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2012. Neo. He's 31 years old today. By the way, he actually was in the movie Red Tails
Now, is
last
that
year.
Neo or Neo?
Neo.
I hear people say Neo.
Neo, that's
Yeah,
what
Neo.
I was.
Probably Neo. Neo. He's 31
Who the
years
hell's
old.
this third guy? Never heard of him.
Tyler Posey became known.
Isn't that the guy Neo, the one that sang that song?
Whatever that is.
That famous song where they were putting, F you. Remember that?
That's CeeLo, not Neo.
Oh, that was CeeLo.
Yeah.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
All right,
Tyler Posey, this guy, he's from the MTV drama Teen Wolf.
Oh, hell, I should have known who he was. I probably saw him in person.
Yeah.
I did one day extra work on Teen Wolf a couple of years ago.
cool.
He was probably there. I don't even know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, Tyler Posey turns 22 years old.
okay.
A rock and roll legend, Chuck Berry.
Yes!
Became
I like
one of the
Chuck.
pioneers of rock and roll, releasing influential
Now that's
songs
worth
Maybelline
mentioning.
and Johnny B. Good.
Now that is worth mentioning.
He's 87 years old today.
Shut
Happy
up.
birthday, Mr. Berry.
Heavy influence on music.
Yes.
An old dog.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, bodybuilder and
muscle
martial
from
artist.
Brussels.
Somebody kicked his ass, I think.
Yes, whose
The
action
muscle
movies
from
included
Brussels.
Kickboxer 1989, Cyborg, and Bloodsport back in
And
1987.
what else was he in at the very beginning that you lent to me?
Break It. He was in Break
He
It.
was breakdancing.
Hey, Russian Spy, didn't he get his ass kicked by somebody?
Yes, Chuck Zito. Years ago.
Okay.
Chuck Zito, that badass ex-Hells Angels.
I thought
yeah,
so.
that Hells Angels that now is like a Hollywood actor. He was in Oz, and he was also like security. Chuck Zito beat his ass at a nightclub back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's an old man.
You don't mess with Chuck Zito. That's a big
Jean-Claude Van Damme, happy
I
birthday.
never liked him. I never liked his movies either. He
Jean-Claude-
wasn't interesting.
Well, he's a horrible actor. I mean, let's face it.
He's like that other asshole, that big
fucking
fat
guy.
slob that does karate.
But he was,
That's
but
a
he's
case
not
of
that
not
bad.
being able to act.
He's good. He was good in Street Fighter, the video game movie
he's
based
a
on video
horrible
game.
actor.
He's turned. Jean-Claude's 53 years old today.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Aaron Moran, also known as
Say
the
it,
role of
Irvin.
Joni.
Whatever.
Joni
No,
Cunningham.
my favorite quote a couple of shows ago. It's Aaron Moran's birthday.
Aaron Moran's
You
birthday.
said on here when Joni was getting her chachi.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny
Get
getting
that chachi going on.
Getting a Chachi. She was on both Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi. Matter of fact, the last episode of Happy Days was when Joni actually married Chachi.
And Joni Loves Chachi.
Yeah,
was
now
like
she
one of
lives
the
in a
worst
trailer
spin-offs.
park.
Yes, she's very hard out.
Yes, she's 53 years old. Also
Very
53
hard out.
years old.
She-
Like a rat,
53
she's
years old
addicted
today.
to crack Oreos.
Yeah.
Yes. Lindsey Vonn, first American woman to win the Olympic gold medal in downhill skiing. She turns 29 years old. Lindsey Vonn, also known as the
Okay.
main squeeze of new main squeeze of Tiger Woods.
Oh, is she the one that was Tiger?
Yes.
Oh.
Don Wells, who played Marianne in Gilligan's Island.
Oh, Don Wells. I was looking at Baby Bash.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that funny? That was a 19 factor. We're talking about Tiger Woods and his
That's
girlfriend.
right. Well, there's 19 factors all over the place.
Yeah, Don Wells, who played Marianne on Gilligan's Island, she turns 75 years old. Oh yeah, the
She was
mixed,
cute.
very very cute, way cuter than Ginger. Ginger was overrated.
Well, there were two different types.
Yeah, Ginger was overrated. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, who else?
Baby Bash, a Mexican American
Who the
rapper
hell
known
is
for
that?
club rocking singles. I don't know.
Baby
I just knew
Bash.
about this guy 5 seconds ago.
He's known for club rock and singles. Which one?
I don't know.
Baby Bash?
That's his name, Baby
A
Bash.
horrible name.
Mike Ditka, the former player turned
Go
coach,
Bears.
who coached the Chicago Bears. The '85 Chicago Bears won Super Bowl 22, Super Bowl 20.
Oh, the lesbian.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
Oh, Super Bowl,
Super
yes.
Bowl
Mike
shuffle.
Ditka, he's 74 years old today. Martina Navratilova won 20 Wimbledon tennis titles from age 21 to 46. 20?
Look how
Yeah.
much face
I think
work
20
that
20
woman
Grand
got
Slams.
face work. That woman got some surgery on her face.
Oh, yeah. She's got to be older than 57.
No, maybe not.
Possibly. Okay.
57.
Yeah. Pam Dauber, who co-starred Robin Williams in
Bang,
TV's
bang.
Mork and Mindy, who's also the wife of Mark Harmon, who has the #1 show on TV, NCIS on CBS.
He's still with her, right?
Yes, he's still with her. Yes. Peter Boyle, versatile actor who, that guy. Jesse, yeah, Jethro. Peter Boyle, the
He
late
did pop
Peter
my
Boyle.
head, I don't care.
He was the late actor who played
I like Peter Boyle.
who played in Young Frankenstein and Mel Brooks'
was the
Young
creature.
Frankenstein. He was played a creature and also played the dad in Everybody Loves Raymond. He was born on this day in 1935. He died in 2006.
He was in Young Frankenstein. That was one of his greatest roles.
Oh, yes, yes. Bristol Palin, the daughter of Sarah Palin, competed in Dancing with the Stars. She turns 23. Yes. And Frida Pinto, Indian actress who played the lovely Latika
Here goes something for
in
TV.
Slumdog Millionaire. Frida Pinto is 29 years old today.
Bollywood, Bollywood, Bollywood.
Yes. And
With this big baller right here, Bollywood. Bollywood.
Do you know
Hey,
Carl
I just termed a
Pilkington?
new form of Hollywood entertainment. A black movie company, Ballerwood. Ballerwood.
Ballerwood.
Instead of Bob. There you go.
Okay.
Ballerwood. John Singleton, you take my idea.
Is that kind of like Goodwood?
Yeah. Ballerwood.
Oh, here he is. Chuck
Goodwood in
Lorre.
the morning.
Chuck Lorre, the
Who the
writer.
hell's that?
Chuck Lorre, the writer, director, and producer who created shows of 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory.
Never watched either.
Number one, who won the Emmy for Best Comedy at the Primetime Emmy Awards last month. He turned 61 years old. He was the one who fired Charlie
I just
Sheen.
never knew
There's
that.
a message on there from Steve Flood.
Yep.
From Katie Art at PETA.
Peter, we're going to
That is
update
very
it.
sad and horrible to hear about. We, of course, had nothing to do with it and would never do anything to cause animals harm.
Oh, she came out.
I just
Yeah.
found this article, which seems like people think that locals who fight dogs may have been involved.
And again, the Macon Telegraph, I have it right here. Dogfighting may have been the motive in an overnight break-in at the Macon shelter that left 3 dogs dead and more than a dozen.
Very weird. I just said, where's the PETA spokesperson? Look at that.
Volunteers of the rescue group, all about animals.
They are watching the morning roast.
How about
They
that?
are.
Yeah.
Well, DS is on here, so he may have even said something,
He
or
might have
maybe somebody
called us.
related to
Somebody,
DS.
oh yeah, she had speaking of birthday, she had a PBS special not recently. Esperanza Spalding, jazz bassist and singer, won 2011 Grammy Award for Best New Artist. Esperanza Spalding, she's 29 years old today. Wesley Jonathan, accomplished actor from TV shows like City Guys and What I Like About You, and even movies like Roll, Bounce, and Crossover. He's turned 35 years old. Jazz and classical trumpeter Wynton Marsalis, who
He's good. He's cool.
awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Music in Blood in the Fields.
I like the Marsalis brothers.
Yes, he's very talented.
Very
And matter of fact, he does the trumpet opening for CBS Sunday Morning. He's 52 years old today. Let's see, Robbie Savage.
You are getting into people I have no.
The late
That's a great one.
George C. Scott, the late actor George C. Scott, Academy Award winner who played the role of Patton in his Oscar-winning performance, born on this day in 1927.
And you know what was so cool about
Yes.
that
Uh-huh.
is he declined the Oscar.
He declined it.
Yeah, he won for Patton and then went up there and said, "I can't take this."
Why?
Because he felt that everybody else in that category did a good job, and that he did not feel right that you could pick out one particular actor and say they were the best actor of the year.
So why didn't Obama get the Nobel Peace Prize back?
He did. Well, that might
Or
be a
Yasser
good-
Arafat.
Might be a good point.
Yeah, another one, another one.
Might be a good
Or
point.
Henry Kissinger.
I always thought that was
Henry
very.
Kissinger.
I always thought that was very respectable.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like award shows and all these like awards for shit. It's just kind of self-grandizing to me. You know.
But I
just-
mean, they've gotten it right before, have they? I mean,
Well, no, whether they got it right or not, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it for Patton, but I just like that he just didn't accept it.
Oh,
I just like
okay.
that. I like that. I would like to say that I would do that if I was up for an award like that. That I would just say I don't want it.
Wow.
I think it's kind of pointless.
other birthday,
Huh?
Tommy Hearns.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Also, Tommy Hearns' birthday. He's 55. He's the first boxer in history to win 5 world titles in 5 different weight classes from different divisions. Thomas Hearns. Even though he got knocked out by Sugar Ray Leonard, but that's a whole other story.
Good job, buddy.
Ampuri, Indian actor who appeared in such Bollywood films as well as Hollywood films such as the Oscar-winning Gandhi. He turned 65 years old. Pierre Trudeau was born on this day, former Canadian Prime Minister.
And subject of Doonesbury.
Doonesbury. Oh,
Remember the Doonesbury cartoon used to have that character that was a
Trudeau.
satire
Trudeau.
of Pierre Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't the creator is Gary Trudeau? Is he somewhat related
Yeah,
to him?
Gary.
He might be, but remember because a lot of times in Doonesbury he used to take a lot of characters and base them obviously on real people. Like he had that one guy that was obviously Hunter S. Thompson in the comic was supposed to be Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, but you
But
know
you're
what's
right.
really funny? He was born on Pierre Trudeau was born on this day in 1919, died in 2000. Jesse Helms, 5-term Republican, U.S. Senator from North Carolina.
Racist.
Yeah, racist.
Right, Urban? Urban would say Jesse Helms was
Born
racist.
on this day in 1921, died in 2008. That's kind of funny. You speaking of Doonesbury, they always portrayed. They never showed George W. Bush's face. They always had a great big asterisk around it.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
Who was the guy who used to draw Doonesbury? What's his
Trudeau.
name?
Gary Trudeau.
Gary
Wasn't
Trudeau.
he married to? He was married to somebody famous.
I don't know.
I really
Some
don't know.
newscaster.
It's kind of weird. Lee Harvey Oswald was born on this day.
Yeah, I think he was married to Jane Pauley or something like that. Anyway.
Also,
Sam Jenkins, I never heard of. Sam
she
Jenkins.
played
Chief
on
Luck,
Hercules.
I put the story out on Facebook. I put it out
Oh,
on
yes.
Twitter. I put it out on G Plus, and
Yep, you were right, Irvin.
Yes.
For once.
what?
Jane Pauley.
Jane Pauley.
She's
Oh,
married
from
to Jane
from
Pauley.
today.
She's married to
Yeah,
Jane
yeah,
Wow,
for
okay.
once I'm right.
Former guitarist.
Mark
I
it
think
down.
I'm right
October
about-
18th,
I think I'm right about the
2013.
Skull situation.
10:53. Urban is right about something.
No, I think I'm right about this
Yes.
situation. This was not a PETA act. This was an act of just a bunch of punks.
Well, I agree. We
Yeah,
agree.
of course it was a bunch of fun.
I don't think it was
Throwing in
PETA,
there.
but I had a friend that thinks it might be PETA, and obviously there's
I
other
wonder if
people,
they took any of the meds.
and there's other people that think it might be PETA. Obviously,
Because
if
they
there's
do
a
break
story.
in those places to get meds, the drug use.
Wow.
Well, I don't
And
know.
that's right down where all the
I
homeless
can't
people are.
answer that, but I do think I heard someone say that there were a few things stolen, but DS will have to verify
Yes.
that.
Well, probably some drugs.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know about that.
Now, somebody put on here earlier in our show that veterinarians and stuff like that, they do that to steal the drugs for
Right.
the animals. But I have a hard time believing.
No, I
that.
don't believe a vet did it.
Yeah,
No.
I don't believe
Because
that.
then that next day there were vets
No,
there
so that they can
administering
make the
medicine.
money, so they
well,
can
there were
make the
vets
money.
there administering medicine yesterday to those.
Because they would at least
animals,
mention
so that doesn't
there's
make any
someone,
sense.
somebody at least
They
would have dropped some
donated. I'm
message.
sure they
Yeah,
donated
that-
a lot of that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's people, these low lifes that want to fucking fight dogs, and maybe for another reason, Ellis lost, that they lashed out. But I like the idea of at least investigating all avenues, including the PETA avenue.
Like Barnaby Jones.
You have exactly
Yeah.
like man.
Well, I'm glad she
like
came
Iris.
out
Yes.
and spoke. Thank you, C-Flug, for
Yes.
bringing us that.
Thank you for the breaking news.
And the breaking news, and as well as the article on Macon.com. We appreciate it,
Thank
brother.
you.
Right.
All
Gary,
right, so,
yeah, want to
next.
say Gary Rick Rath, happy birthday to him, former guitarist, songwriter.
Yeah,
from
oh, by
REO
the way,
Speedwagon.
he emailed her and asked her if she isn't watching.
Oh yeah, she's not watching.
Well, you should be.
Yes, you should be. Yes.
You're missing
Gary,
out.
You're missing out.
yes, Gary Rick Rath from REO Speedwagon. He turned 64 years old. Loving you, 'cause it's the only thing I wanna do. I don't wanna sleep. I just wanna keep on loving you.
Oh, baby, I'm gonna keep on loving you.
Wilson from that movie. Favorite
I hate that song even more.
from that famous movie of the
I
80s,
caused that.
The Last American Virgin. Yes, 1982.
Wanna sleep?
Also one last one, Terry McMillan, American author who wrote popular books such as Waiting to Exhale and How Stella Got Her Groove Back. She turned 62 years old.
In other words, a bunch of fluff shit.
Yes. Who dated?
I
who
wrote a bunch of shit.
knowingly married a guy who was definitely on the down low.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
And now she's wondering why she's waiting to exhale.
Yes.
And the Cal 3000, his opinion on this,
Segment.
he says, and I vomited to my mouth. And it
Yeah.
burned.
No, that's probably my singing he vomited. My singing he vomited too.
Awful. That
Crazy
singing was
stuff.
horrible. That was like screeching.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. I never claimed to be a singer.
Now I'm gonna keep on loving you.
Because I can't fight this feeling
Anymore.
anymore. What the hell are we fighting for? Kevin Cronin, the singer of REO, Kevin Cronin.
Goodness.
What does the fox say? 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 What does the fox
say? What does the fox say? What does the fox say?
And we're done.
What the hell?
Goodness.
Ed, can you mash it? Can you alter that? Your new theme song. Change Fox to roast. So every show, what does the roast say? Ding ding ding. Can you do that? You can't put roast in there? Damn.
It
That'd be
would have
awesome.
been nice though.
That'd be awesome.
That would be nice.
What does the
Somebody
roast
knows
say?
I told y'all that by the end of the show I would drive y'all motherfucking nuts.
Crazy.
And you have succeeded.
By the way,
Ed said he would teabag your ass.
Ed, is there any way you can get the video and somehow alter the video like you do with Jib Jab?
No, Jib
Without
Jab's
faces.
a service that does it for you. You just put the face on.
Yeah.
That's a service already.
You know
Ed,
what?
Ed just puts the face to it, the picture to it. But if you could change Fox to roast, man, that'd be a good little theme song. What does the roast say?
I like that. Why
Yeah,
did you
burning
get that
down
on
a house,
recording
man.
and just repeat that shit over and over?
What
There
does
you go. That's a
Yeah,
I
because
can't
of
fight
the Allen
this
computer
feeling.
there.
What does the roast say?
Shim
Yeah,
Shim
yeah.
from Speed
Yeah.
Racer.
Why don't you give us one
You know what?
rendition
We
with
got-
on recording and use that over and over in a loop?
Okay, you ready?
We gotta do.
All right,
We got some wordsmith
You're
word
recording?
origins.
Let's do the recording real quick.
Yeah, let's do recording. Go ahead. All right, but you got to really pull this off. Ready?
What does the rose say? What does the rose say? What does the rose say?
Yeah, baby.
What does the rose say? What does the rose say? Thank you.
Ed got it. All right. And now their copyright lawyers are calling us. Leave that shit alone.
Yes.
Oh, look who's on. Scrubby Butthole.
Well, guys, it's 11. You guys got to get the hell out.
Yeah, we got some wordsmith in. Who said this
It was
first?
fun, guys.
Yes, we're burning down the house on this. Speaking of which, that's our word for today. Sort of. Arson. Like ardor.
Like burn the show down.
And ardent. Arson comes from the Latin verb ardere, which means burn. Its past participle was arsus, from which was formed the noun artio, act of burning. This passed via Old French and into Anglo-Norman as arson, and in fact was in use in the Anglo-Norman legal language of England in the 13th century. Onwards, it occurs in the state of Westminster in 1275 AD. The jurist Sir Matthew Hale was the first to use the word in a vernacular text in 1680. Other words in English ultimately included to, and probably ash, area, and azalea. How about that? Azalea, that's a certain plant. How about that?
That's flowering bush.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
And who said this first? No pun intended. Call a spade a spade.
And look which one of us is reading this.
Yes.
Call a spade a
Yes.
spade.
Very, very interesting, Ed.
Ed set you up.
I know. Let me ask you a
Call a
question.
spade a spade.
All right, before you go into that, we're gonna get into that. But I'd
So
like
tell
to
me,
know
Darren,
what the
your
whole
spade.
point of call a spade, why that's so insulting. I always thought
They're about to tell us,
that was
probably.
a stupid terminology.
Yeah.
That some people are insulted by it. And I'm like, why? So give us the
Well,
why.
okay, it
or
says-
what it is.
Because it's black.
Yeah, because
Wow.
black like a card, like the card.
I don't know.
Ace of spades.
Well, why didn't he say?
Black is the ace of spades.
Well, why do they say call a club a club?
I don't know. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, ancient writers Menander, Lucian, Aristophanes, and Plutarch all refer to the idea as far back as 200 BC, though there is some linguistic doubt whether they were calling a spade or trough a trough. Dutch scholar Erasmus chose spade when he wrote of the ancients, and the term came into English in 1539. Translated by Richard Taverner in the latter's Gardner if Wisdom in 1539 says, which call a mattock nothing else but a mattock, and a spade, A mattock is another kind of digging tool. So I guess a spade which is like a digging tool, like a shovel. Charles Dickens confirmed the contemporary English version in Hard Times, 1854, when Bounderby says, "There's no imaginative, sentimental humbug about me. I call a spade a spade." And one of the expression's more amusing outings occur in Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, in a dialogue in Class War between Miss Cecily Cardew and the Honorable Gwendolyn Fairfax. Proud of her honesty, Miss Cardew declares, "When I see a spade, I call it a spade, only to be scorched by the Honorable Gwen with her reply, I am glad to say that I have never seen a spade."
Bombay Dreams.
Yeah, you're looking at her.
Yeah, that's nice.
And you flip those initials around.
Yes.
Yeah, you flip the initial around. It's DB. Bombay Dreams. Dreams Bombay.
Yeah.
DB.
Oh, that's the
That's
20th factor.
So you
Yeah.
just completely walked over the ending of called spade a spade.
Yes.
It's like, what'd you say? What'd you say?
Whoa. Welcome, Scrubby's Butthole.
You're
About
on
to be banned, huh?
you're on Irving time. We brought up Scrubby Butthole about 5 minutes ago.
No, he just said,
yeah.
uh-oh, I'm about to be banned later. Oh, love ya.
Why are you
Love
gonna be
you
banned?
too.
Well, we're about to be over anyway.
Why are you gonna be banned?
Who cares if you ban someone right now? You got like 4 seconds left in the show.
Oh yeah.
Butthole's gone.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just want to say thank you for watching and staying tuned to us. Hey,
Hey, send them a message.
I'm on
DB.
Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, no, send them a message, DB. Keep us informed on what's going on with you and Bombay Dreams.
Yeah, really.
Because you
And,
can't spell
whatever
Bombay
other
Dreams
you
without
have.
DB. You can't spell Bombay Dreams without DB.
Just keep the dreams in Bombay.
Keep on loving you.
I had a great time, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here.
It was fun.
Thank you, Ashley34, ATT, Diaz Photo Guy,
Thank you,
Master
Chatters.
Meatball, Uric Wildcat, Beer Sports Card, Confused 58, DJ Azrael, Clean Underwear, Lady K1, Lager and Camp Muhammad, Hussein Owen, you know, Nordschnack, Vida Singh, Opiate for Life.
Clean Underwear, I responded back to you. I gave you some links. Maybe that'll help you out.
Okay, thank you for coming by, Russian Spy.
Yes, sir. You will see me
Smell
later.
My
yes.
Finger. Snow
No,
Sparks,
you're
3
fucking
Bears, Watchdog 1, Zappa 1, thank you. Saibuki was here earlier, and Donnie
Thank
Curry.
you, everybody. Thank you, Diaz.
Yeah,
for
3
keeping
Bears.
us informed
Thank you for
on
coming.
the situation with All About Animals.
Yes, y'all have
And
a...
thank you for your hard work.
Yeah, thank you, Ann, for coming by, and thank you. Also, check out the Greek Festival that's coming by, and those who are going to be going on television. Sunday, there's going to be Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory Sunday on pay-per-view. Who's checking it out?
Ready? 3.
Yes, thank you, Ed. Thank
One.
you, everybody, for being on our show. Make sure
Uh-oh.
you show up
Just kidding.
very soon. Monday. Yeah.
What does the rose say?
On behalf of the Nut House,
What does the rose say?
this is DB saying, can you smell what the roast is brewing? Don't answer that.
What does the rose say?
What does the
See
fox
you Monday.
say?
Slim Shady.
What does the fox say? What does the fox say?
You know what? You know what? You know, you's got a pretty good mouth. You know that? You's got a pretty mouth. You know that? You know that? You's got a pretty mouth.
De Niro's in
What the hell did you come up with
You
that
talking
one?
to me? I got a pretty mouth. Maybe you got the pretty mouth. You.
Anyway, and so I used to go.
Like a burrito, it's a wrap.
Bye-bye.